Welcome to the QDRC. We're here at Willowbank Raceway. Round 3 of QDRC. The cars are about to roll out, so make sure you like and share the stream out there. Let's get a few viewers on today. There is a lot of room up here in the stands, so if you want to come out, it's a beautiful day today here in Queensland. So if you're anywhere near the track, there is a lot of racing today, so there's plenty to see. And if you've been following the streams, you'll know sort of where everyone's sitting and be learning some of the rules of the QDRC. So make sure you support the event, support the raceway, and get out here and watch some racing. But other than that, share it out. Let's see how many people we can get watching the Queensland Drag Racing Championships today. And the commentary team will be with us soon. So keep watching and we'll get racing underway.
To round 3 of the Queensland Drag Racing Championships. We are about to get underway with qualifying. I think we're going to go into Super Street first. We're still waiting on a few of the real street cars. Just do a test. Everyone can hear us out there? Everyone can hear us? Thumbs up. Everyone in the crowd? I don't see any thumbs up. Have we got anyone listening?
Yeah, I'm sure. We got Junior Dragster that needs to get called to the lanes as well. So yeah, we got quite a few brackets already getting their way to the lanes: Real Street, Super Street, and Junior Dragster.
Geet's got someone see if mine's working. You're coming through.
Yeah, I barely heard you.
Just test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Yeah, I didn't think it was. Just go on there and do it for us. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. You got something there? Well, I'm getting lights. Testing 1 2 3. Moving into qualifying session number 1 Super Street. No, I wasn't. I'll just check yours if you want to.
Yeah.
No, nothing. It's not going out.
While we work on some technical difficulties, we've got Tanisha Marshall up against Colin Marshall. Colin Marshall out with a 080 light. Runs it down for an 11.47 at 117 mile an hour. Tanisha was 11.60 at 116.
system, but not into the PA.
So up next we've got John Riley in the 1-tonner up against Murray Flay in the Commodore. Red light there for John Riley, just getting the reds out of the system early. Murray Flay just sitting there with Royce just coming up beside the car. Shoes on the start line there, but roll it through. We got Bud Kelly up on the line in the HQ Premier 454 powered Premier up against Craig Layton in the Aussie Diffs Statesman. Both in the full stage. 139 to Bud Kelly, 146 to Craig Layton, so not much in the tree. mph to 8th track for Bud Kelly, runs it through for a 10.72, 124. And Craig Layton with a 11.65 at 116 mph. Andrew King, first hit on the track for Andrew King today, and he's in the Autobahn Hyperdome Ford Prefect up against Jennifer Ashen in the Commodore. Ashen goes through 11.38 at 123 mph.
Test.
And 11.73, 124 there for Andrew King.
Test. 1, 2.
So Terry Glasby in the Ford Fairlane up against Darren Piddington in the bright orange Ford Capri.
Oh, good to be on the microphone, mate. We had some technical issues. We've gone the old school microphone now.
Yeah, so now you can go on the start
yeah.
line.
So we are in qualifying session number 1 for Prime Science Speed Elec Super Street. We see Gillespie go through for a 12.07. Piddington at 11.23. Of course, qualifying is all about the reaction times here in round 1.
Yes.
Best reaction time gets that number 1 spot.
Yeah, so you can see a couple of people getting slightly early, throwing out a red, but...
We've got a few reds. Best light so far is 0.76 by Jenny Ashen.
Sean Taskus in the Ford Capri, 0.77 light, and Wayne Nipperis throws it away with that red.
I think the 77 for Taskus will put him in number 2 at the moment. Let's look at their ETs. We see an 11.02 from Taskus and 11.34 for Nipperis. Yeah. All right, this is something we haven't seen for a while in Super Street. Rob Harrington. He got scared of Die Your Own Racing, went race heads up in Slammer. Now he's back. He's seen the light. Up against Nicole Goldie.
Thought he got tired of racing door slammers.
Issues for Goldie, but Harrington will go to number 1 spot at the moment with an 0.53 reaction time. And rolls it through for an 11.05, 123 miles an hour. And Goldie, with issues in the Ford, goes 14.55 at 92 mile an hour.
So up next, Troy Hutton in the TH Tiling Waterproofing Holden ute there, up against Dennis Ryan. And Ryan in the more modern of the Holden utes on the line. So like Dennis Ryan at 117 for Troy Hutton. Looking like nice clean passes here.
Yeah, that 060 will put Ryan in number 2 at the moment qualifying wise. We see Hutton go 10.79, 122 mile an hour. Dennis Ryan 11.69, 116 miles per hour. Usually we see lights better than what we've seen so far. It's usually down in the low zeros to get that number 1 spot, but at the moment it's still currently held by Rob Harrington with an 0.53. I reckon this guy could give it a nudge, Ray Ross.
Yeah, definitely. Ray Ross has been around the traps for quite a while with this Charger.
And Samantha Yulton in the Commodore for BL Race Engines.
Big 5.7 litre power in this Commodore. Just waiting for Samantha to go into the full stage, as she does.
How about 1 and 2 in qualifying here on this paired pass? Yulton goes 0.13 to number 1. Ross goes 0.17 to number 2. Ray Ross at 10.06, 131 miles an hour. Yulton goes 11.74, 119 mile an hour.
Yeah, fantastic runs there. We got Junior Dragster and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. Junior Dragster and Super Sedan. So up next, William Keogh in the XE Falcon up against Wade Moran in the SWC Automotive Mustang. 0.75 light there for William Keogh and Wade Moran with an 0.74 red. Wade Moran runs it through 11.58 at 117 mile an hour and 11.98 at 111 there for William Keogh in the XE Falcon. Up next we've got Travis Greaves in the white XD Falcon lining up against Angela Holtz in the Mad Dog Motorsport Monaro. So all these drivers with the eyes on the trees early.
It is all about the reaction time here in Q1 for all of our sportsman brackets, bar a couple of them. We see Greaves get out of the 175. Holtz with a 221 for the Mad Dog Motorsport Monaro.
Yeah, they'll need to sharpen that up for future rounds.
10.73 for Greaves, 11.03 for Holtz.
We got the Commodore Wagon up against the Styromax Australia Hornet.
I like what it says on the screen here. It's calling it an XD Ford for the wagon. Gary Green to take on John Massey for Styromax.
We've all been in that scenario where your race car just doesn't quite cut the day and you have to resort to using the other street car. Red lights both sides of the track. Gary Green an 0.73 red and John Massey an 0.60 red.
It's a big field so far this morning in Prime Science Speed Elec Super Street. We've had 22 cars down the track already in qualifying, as we see the cars go through there for a 10.43 for Green. And Massey, I just missed Massey's ET.
It looks like a solo run here for Josh Fletcher, so no pressure on, just hit that tree hard. Almost like Bump City.
Solid, yeah, solid light.
Great light there, 0.55 for the Tirana of Josh Fletcher. Runs it through for a 10.76 at 124 mile an hour. So nice clean run there for the Tirana. And it looks like we're into real street.
Yeah, an exhibition bracket this weekend at the QDRC Real Street. I think we had 7 or 8 entries in the field. So it's a class for all you. It's a die your own class for late model style vehicles, running quicker than 13.99 seconds. On track first is the VZ of Ian Nielsen to take on Dale Samuelson in the Caprice.
Waiting on Nielsen to go into full stage. And an 0.27 light there for Nielsen, 2.25 for Samuelson. Nielsen backdoors it all the way for an 11.86 at 117 mile an hour. And Dale Samuelson with a 12.68 at 111.
So this is a bracket we have seen at the larger events like the NDRC events. So we've got it here, exhibition this weekend.
Yeah, it's great to see the quality of cars coming out for this category as well.
Yeah, just waiting on the system to reset. We've got Tony Rogers in the BF Ute.
Yeah, the bright orange BFU, House of Wraps.
Yeah, and I think it might be Matt Coates over on the... It is.
In the white Commodore wagon.
Yep, Matt Coates.
So Tony Rogers, an 11.65, 128 with that 151 reaction. And 12.17 at 115 mile an hour for the white wagon.
Can we just have Super Sedan and Modified to the lanes, please? Super Sedan and Modified to the lanes, please. Next up here in Real Street, it will be Shane Grattan in the BF moving forward.
Yeah, up against the Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Of Paulie Gingell in the Jeep. They're quick, the old Jeeps, aren't they?
Not wrong, especially the, those, anything from Chrysler with the big Hemis in them.
Well, already number one qualifies an 0.27 on the tree. So that's what you got to beat. That's the number to beat to get that number one spot. Here in Q1, Q1 only counts 0.41 for Grattan. That'll be good for number two in the field. Gingell gets out with a 4.70. We are in Q1 of Real Street.
Yeah, 13.96, 103 mile an hour for Shane Grattan, and a 14.01 for Paulie Gingell.
You're right. I was like trying to go for like a 40.
Paul Nielsen in the FG up on the line. Goes through a 165 reaction time. We just keep having these drag races come up and harass us.
Yeah. Not happy with our call or something. Yeah.
Well, they have to do better on the track if they want good calling.
Exactly. We are in qualifying for the Queensland Drag Racing Championships. It's the third round of the championship here. We're almost at the halfway point of the season. A couple of races have already got a decent lead in the championship as well. We'll talk about the points later on, I think. We'll leave the points for a bit later on as we get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it's all going to come out in the wash later on today.
We've got 3 qualifiers during the day, and then we've got 3 rounds of racing later on, and then all the finals.
Yeah, and in the process, we need junior dragster, super sedan, and modified to the lanes. So our first call for Knijff Earthmoving Modifieds. Well, looks like we got some junior dragsters just there, sitting, waiting patiently for the for their time on the track. And I can hear those junior dragsters firing up. We got James Loday up first, up against Tyler Bellett.
It's good to see James back in a junior dragster. He's a former national champion junior dragster. Spent the last 12, 18 months on a junior bike. And now back in the dragster. I think this could be his final season in junior dragster. He might be at that ripe old age of around 17.
Yeah, we got to
well, he came out and raced a street series.
As you do.
As you do. That's what we all did that.
I'm surprised he didn't come out with a diesel assault attack.
So first up, we got Tyler Bellett on track for TBRE Performance. James Loday. It is all about the reaction time here in Q1. That's all these kids are concerned about. That's all we're concerned about as well.
Yeah, so SuperFloor Junior Dragster.
Yep, SuperFloor bringing us junior dragster. The Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. You'll see Bellett just jumping forward here. It's a nice sticky track today. Loday in full stage. He's ready. He's in. No messing about.
111 reaction for Loday. 144 for Bellett.
How about an 800 off the trail for Tyler Bellett and an 830 for James Loday? Reaction times, though, Loday was the better of the two with that 111. Bellett goes 144. I don't think that's going to be good enough for number one spot. in Junior Dragster.
I don't think so. Not with the quality of the field in Junior Dragster at the moment.
Exactly. And honestly, even with the 111, I don't know if you'll make the top half of the field.
Yeah,
I think usually it's in the zeros, just to make the top half.
Well, that's it. These kids have sharp reaction times at the best.
They are. And it's solid, but when everyone actually has a chop at the tree in Q1, there's usually some pretty good reaction times in here. Next up, it's going to be Kid versus Kid. We're talking about Alex Kidd in the Speedflow lane, Jasmine in the Rocket lane. Brother versus sister.
Dad versus mum.
Dad versus mum as well. Dad with Alex, mum with Jasmine.
And all they've got to do is worry about that right foot at the right time.
It's easy, isn't it? Pre-stage for Alex. Jasmine's in full stage. Who will get the bragging rights in Q1? It's going to be Alex with an 064. Jasmine goes 185. And Alex Kidd goes through for an 839.75 miles an hour. Jasmine an 878.73 mile an hour.
Yeah, so Max Rowling up next in the A Junior Dragster, rolling repairs, supporting that Junior Dragster, up against Kyle Day in the RLC engine reconditioning Junior Dragster. And some great wraps on these things, Mark.
Yeah, I know. I'm a big fan of the more pocket money wrap. But I also love the style, the body style of Days Junior. The rear wing, the high body, the front wing as well. That's cool.
Yeah, just the sheer amount of parts that you can get for these Junior Dragsters these days.
Yeah, they look a little different to when I first started racing Junior Dragster.
031 light for Max Rowling. That's put him up near the pointy end at number 1 spot. He runs it through for a 796 with a 9 at 80 mile an hour and an 859 at 74 mile an hour there for Kyle Day.
Yeah, Rowling, I think, will take that number 1 spot, as you mentioned. Yeah, 031's good enough for number 1 spot at the moment. Alex Kidd is number 2 with an 064, and James Loday is currently 3rd with a 111. So already you need to be in the zeros just to make our top 3. To get into the top 3, I should say. But I think...
A 00, you reckon?
We do normally see double O's from the juniors in Q1. And one of the tough races on track right now, Jacob Schultz to take on Neela Paul. I can't see Paul coming through, though. We can see Jacob's already just outside the pre-stage area for the SCG Racing Parts A Civil Junior Dragster. He's ready, but I can't see Neela Paul on track, so it's going to be a solo pass by the looks of it for Jacob Schultz. Oh, it's a big red there, 105 red for Jacob. The B Junior Dragster racer here, Schultz, will go through for an 869 at 74 mile an hour.
So respective time there for the B Junior, but yeah, unfortunately just that red light at the start.
It happens, man. You take a chop and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good.
Yeah, Jet Pirano up against Chase Carsley.
Yeah, Jet Pirano. Vance Pirano is currently tied, equal first in the championship for Junior Dragster. I'm just having a look for Jet Pirano. He's down there. He's on 24 points at the moment. So 21 points behind our leaders in Junior Dragster. Chase Carslake on track. Went through to the final at the last event. And it's going to be another solo pass here.
So issues with Chase Carslake's Junior.
Yeah, oh, actually, there's big issues. There's a puddle there underneath Chase's Junior. Of something there. I wonder if it's just a bit of fuel. So it's going to be a solo pass for Jet Pirano.
It doesn't look like it was too much with the crew just out there.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a line or something's come off and it's an easy fix.
117 light for Jet Pirano.
He's running for Beck's Hair Lounge. Goes through for an 806 at 81 mile an hour.
Yeah, can we get a call for Super Sedan Modified and Modified Bike, please, to the lanes? see plenty more junior dragsters making their way around the top of the track.
Yeah, another big field this weekend in Junior Dragster for SuperFloor.
How many runs have we had so far today, Mark?
Yeah, in Junior Dragster, we already got 8 down track. We'll have a recap of qualifying at the moment. Max Rowling is number 1 with an 0.31. Alex Kidd is number 2 with an 0.64. James Loday is number 3 with that 111. Jet Pirano is currently in that top 4 at the moment with that 117. Rounding out the top 5, Tyler Bellett with a 144.
So it's pretty tight in the in that 0.1 range, but we definitely need those double zeros to get to near the pointy end of the field.
Yeah, I think it'll get really tight as we get down to 20. You know, once we've had 20-odd juniors down the track, just have a look how good the lights will be to get inside that top 3. So Vance Pirano, equal championship leader to take on Nixon King. Nixon for Mick King Transport.
And this will give us a visual way of looking at these B juniors side by side.
Well, this is Vance's chance now to just put a stamp on the championship. Like, this is where he can make a run. Like, I'm equal leader. Let's put a number down here to show why I'm currently leading the championship.
You can see him physically rocking the car, rocking the junior dragster into stage.
Yeah, they want to be as shallow as possible. Oh, how about that from our championship leader? 0-1-2. Nixon King goes 132 beside him. Vance Pirano goes to that number 1 spot. Runs it through for an 873, 74 miles an hour. Nixon King goes 919 at 68 miles an hour.
Yeah, so it's throwing the chips on the table.
That's it, mate. That's it. You want to start off confident. That's the way to do it right there. Championship leader goes to number 1 spot at the moment.
So up next, we've got Tamika Castlake up against Amelia Wright.
So we always talk about the numbers. The number now to be number 1 is 011 or better to get that number 1 spot off Vance Pirano. Tamika Castlake and Amelia Wright now with their chance to do that.
Yeah, Amelia Wright in the Illicit Auto Electrical Junior Dragster, the Rocket Lane. See the crew just doing some last minute changes. So we got Tamika into pre-stage. Oh, deep stage there for Amelia Wright. A 180 light there for Amelia and a 090 red for Tamika Castlake. So it's just going after that 011 light.
Yeah, 869 for Tamika and an 806 for Amelia Wright there. Next pairing out in SuperFloor Junior Dragster will be the other half of the championship leaders, Nixon Canuli to take on Cody Sedmak. So Nixon Canuli equal championship leader with Vance Pirano. Interesting though, between Vance and Nixon, neither have actually lost a round of racing yet this season. So both undefeated. They didn't go through to the final at one of the events. They went 3 from 3, but didn't have close to Donnelly to go through. But technically undefeated so far this season in racing. Cody Sedmak for JTS Racing in the lane beside Nixon. 011. If you go 011 between 000 and 011, you will get that number 1 spot.
Until the next pairing.
Until the next pairing. So this is Nixon's chance to lay one down now after seeing what Pirano did earlier.
Yeah, both are into pre-stage. .109 light there for Nixon, not enough for that top spot, but Cody Sedmak a 147 as well. And look at that, 797 at 81 mile an hour for Nixon Canuli, and the 899 at 70 mile an hour there for Cody Sedmak. So
just a good solid pass from both drivers there.
Yeah, they'll be happy getting that first off the trailer, but obviously just need to.
I think there's always that little bit, you know, like, would have been like to have been in the zeros.
That's it.
on the light side of things. Okay, next up, Carl Schultz for the A Civil Junior Dragster to take on Max Mason. We can see Carl Schultz there just going through the procedure. A couple little launches.
Yeah, checking the settings in the clutch.
And Max Mason also just slowly moving forward as well in the lane beside Carl Schultz.
Mason just moving that Downs Classic Towing Junior Dragster to the staging beams. Pumps it into pre-stage. So will we see the B Junior go top of the list, or will we see Carl Schultz in that A Junior go top of the list?
Well, Schultz is one of the heavy hitters in Junior Dragster, but this time he goes red on track. 0.39 too quick. Mason, though, good solid reaction time as well. 0.84. As we see, Schultz goes through for an 8.09, 79 miles an hour. Mason, a 9.30 at 70 mile an hour.
On track next, Dakota Bray up against Alexi Lancaster. So Dakota Bray in the Smith Transport Junior Dragster in the Speedflow lane. Lexi there in the black and pink Junior Dragster in the in the Rocket lane.
I like the Harley Quinn wrap on Lexi's Junior down there. Looks good.
Yeah, both are very brightly coloured Junior Dragsters.
You can see the Smith Transport Junior Dragster of Dakota Bray. She's currently third in the championship, Dakota.
She's been fairly successful in her Junior Dragster.
Very successful, especially the
so
last
far.
12, 18 months. A 1:30 reaction time for Bray, 1:92 for Lexi Lancaster. As we see, Dakota Bray goes through for an 8.09, 79 miles an hour. Lancaster goes 8.73 at 74 mile an hour. Up Junior Drags, brought to us by SuperFloor. Paige King, Cody Robertson. King gets out with an 0.33 light. Great reaction time for Paige King. Cody Robertson goes 5.91. Paige King, though, with the ET advantage, he goes 8.70, 73 miles an hour. And Cody Robertson goes through for a 12.32 at 51 mile an hour. That reaction time from Paige King, 0.33, that's going to put her up there in the order.
Where is that?
But that might be the final pass of Junior Dragster because the system's getting reset, so we're not going to see where they ended up.
I think it'd be about 4th or 5th.
I think it might be around 2nd, actually, from memory. I don't think anyone went better than the 01. And then I think that might be the second best light. But it doesn't matter. We'll see in the next session when they come out.
All right, can we get modified bike and top sportsman to the lanes, please? Modified bike and top sportsman.
Yeah, you guys should be in the lanes. We're going to move now into Super Sedan.
Yeah, we've got Damien Morris. He's usually first in the lanes, and he's first on the screen at the moment, up against Adam White.
Yeah, Damien had a bit of a, by his standards, probably subpar the last round of the championship for the QDRC. He is still second in the championship, but on track here to take on Adam White. White from Ripley, just local, 10 minutes down the road for Adam White in the VL Commodore. And we can see Damien Morris in the Monaro for Morris Painting Solutions.
Yeah, don't think I've seen a QDRC where it hasn't had the Monaro
He's
on track.
First at the gate, first in the lanes for Damien Morris. Another driver that's been really successful for the last few years, especially Dan Morris here in Super Sedan. Very consistent car, very good racer, Morris. Actually, Adam White's a very good racer too, beside him. Can't take Adam White lightly at all.
But yeah, this Monaro just dialed in so well from years of racing at him.
Yeah, it's been very consistent, around the high 990, around the 990s region. He's got 987 on the side of the car here. So a lot of the drivers will, take this like as if it's a racing room. They throw a dial in on the car just to see what it'll do.
019 to a 001 for Adam White. That's crazy. Straight off the truck.
Off the trailer, 001 for Adam White. Morris is good as well, 019. Adam White, 961, 141 miles an hour. Morris goes 993, 133 mile an hour. So the tail of the tape already in Super Sedan. If you want the number one spot, you must be perfect. Trip Zip now is the only way you can get the number one spot off of Adam White.
That is crazy. First round and chucks that out. Judy Pukas up next in the Coyote Racing Valiant. The big 572 on board that. As you can see it poking out of the bonnet up against Hamish Strown and the Complete Property Commodore. Don't both of these things look fantastic. 846 light there for Judy Pukas and 061 there for Hamish Strawn. And a 966 at 143 for Pukas and 966 at 140 there for Hamish Strawn in that black Commodore.
Just a good old-fashioned drag race, that one here in qualifying. Mick Newport in the Tirana for Mick Newport contracting, moving forward to take on Rob Price in the LH Tirana for Pine Mountain Performance. So Rob Price.
Yeah, I don't think he can get a Tirana any lower.
It is nice and low, isn't it, for Price? He's been racing, campaigning for a few years now, Price in this Tirana. Newport runs in the low 9s.
Both in pre-stage. 070 light, 067 for Price. Nice clean runs both sides of the track. 939, 142 against a 944 and 140 there for Price. Yes, great racing there for side-by-side Tiranas.
All right, Andrew Everding now in the Corolla to take on Mitchell Bauer, the Ford, for Fernworld Landscape Supplies.
Yeah, great to see the old KE25, KE30. Up against the Fernwood Landscape Fairlane.
A quick call for Modified Bike, Top Sportsman and QDRC SuperComp to the lanes, please. Modified Bike, Top Sportsman and SuperComp to the lanes, please. Both cars in pre-stage. Everything's gone in first. Bauer, another one of those heavy hitters in Super Sedan, but he goes red big time. 042 red for Mitchell Bauer. 312 clean green for Andrew Everding. And issues for Andrew actually down track in the Corolla. Bauer goes through for a 932, 148 miles an hour. And Andrew roll through for a 13-second pass. We move into our next pairing on track in Super Sedan. Number one spot at the moment still Adam White with that 001. Damien Morris is number two with an 019. Pukas is currently third with an 046. But I think this guy on track, Rudy Wyatt, I think he might get up there in the top half of the field on this pass here against Wayne Heights. Rudy Wyatt is the championship leader in Super Sedan.
Yeah, and Wayne Height there in the Chev-powered Celica.
I'll make a call. I think White will go like a high 00 here. I'm going to make a call. In Q1
Well,
on someone. Oh, it was still low. A low 027 for White, 025 for Height. Height, the better of the two, will go to number 3 in qualifying with that reaction time. He goes through for 927, 137 miles an hour. White goes 956, 145.
Yeah, very sharp on the tree, and we're still looking for that perfect light for this category.
Well, that's it. That's if you want to be number one. It is Trip Zip. Simple as that in Super Sedan.
Well, I think that's it for Super Sedan, so we're going...
And the other thing we've we haven't touched on is that only the first session counts towards qualifying. So Q2 and 3, doesn't matter what you do on that session with your action times because only Q1 counts. So that's why it's really fun. I like it. It puts a lot of pressure on the drivers to be on the game off the trailer. No practice, that's it, just bang in.
I can just imagine them driving the truck with the trailer behind every traffic light. They're testing their dial in, or their reaction times going in. So
Q1 now for Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator. We see Andrew Pinkstone got sideways in the burnout there for Pinky's Toy, backing up, and he'll be taking on Abby McDonald in the front engine dragster in lane beside. And Abby's been doing pretty well this season in Modified. So is Pinkstone. Pinkstone's currently second in the championship, behind Lucas Holt's current championship leader. Abby's only contested one event so far this season, so she's a little bit down in the points, but has been doing very well in this front engine dragster.
it's always good seeing those front engine dragsters on track.
You can see Pinky's Toy there for Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator. This thing, he usually runs around the 750, so I'd expect like a low, like a 753 or something from Andrew Pinkstone in these. It's a warm day. Should be in the mid 750s for Andrew Pinkstone here. And Abby's very similar as well. She's usually 200 or 300 slower than Pinkstone in qualifying.
Oh, 001 red.
So close for Abby. 001 red. Pinkstone goes to number 1 spot at the moment with an 043. And Pinkstone goes 759. Abby goes 762.
Modified drivers always sharp on the tree, so
Yeah, that's tight. 001 red off the trailer.
So yeah, we see the Phil Bellett TBRE Performance Dragster up against Dave Porter in the DK Equipment Hire Dragster. Just rolling back after the burnout. So when are you going to make a move back into the driver's seat, Mark?
One day, mate. One day.
One day?
I'm enjoying just coming out to these events and not having to worry about packing trailers up, loading, unloading. It's just sitting there till she's all sweet, but
Just sitting there till the kids are ready.
yeah, well, that's the other thing. I've got to start thinking about junior drag, so. One day anyway.
That's it.
On track, Phil Bellett for TBRE Performance, Dave Porter for DK Equipment Hire. Both 7-second dragsters here. How about another one? Another 001 red. This time it's Phil Bellett. Porter goes to number 1 spot with an 012. Porter 767, 178 miles an hour. Phil Bellett goes 771, 169. But for the second pairing in a row, we see a 001 red.
I'll be checking the Christmas tree later on.
Nah, it's a delay box, man. It's all where you want to risk it. How much do you want to risk with the delay box? So a lot of the drivers will set themselves up to be in red if they do absolutely nail the tree.
So Chris Reed in the Roadster up against a front engine dragster, or is he just get the solo run this time?
Yeah, Chris Reed Roadster. It's definitely a solo pass here in Knijff Earthmoving Modified. No pressure on Chris. He can just take his time, run his own race.
Yeah, focus on his own car and what it's doing.
Couple of deep breaths, bumper into full stage. Let's go racing.
That's how you do it in 033 for Chris Reed. He runs it through for an 834, 156 mile an hour.
That's pretty much where the Roadster lives these days, in the 830 zone. So far, we've got 5 cars down track in Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator. 3 greens and 2 reds so far. Next up, Brett Farnell in the front engine drags for Team Bray Racing.
Yeah, so he's come off the slasher and out racing his front engine dragster this weekend.
And he'll be taking on championship leader Lucas Holtz. Lucas Holtz, what can we say about him? He's 2 from 2 to start the season. Won both events.
Doesn't matter what he races.
Well, that's it. He knows this altered so well. And I actually thought that second round of the championship, I thought he wasn't going to make the final, and then he goes and drops a dead-on pass on his dial in the third round of racing and gets it into the final and count back and wins the event to go 2 from 2 to start the season. Brett Farnell, though, he's coming off some really good racing as well. He's been in a few finals in this dragster in the last 12 months.
Yeah, Brett Farnell straight into pre-stage, waiting on Holtz to move in.
So reaction time you got to beat is 012. So at the moment, so 011 or better to get that number 1 spot.
014, just off for Lucas Holtz.
He's still going to go to number 2 at the moment. Farnell goes red too quick. He goes an 825, 157. Holtz goes a 920, 145 mile an hour.
So can I grab Top Sportsman, QDRC SuperComp and QDRC Comp Bike for lanes, please?
Good to see Kerry Muller back out here in the roads. Haven't seen Kerry for a while. It's one of my favourite roads, actually, this one. Taking on Neil Shy in the another front engine dragster.
It's almost like nostalgia's.
Lots of front engine dragsters this weekend. And roadsters.
It's great to see.
Yeah, so Modified Eliminator is a bracket that is for what we call our open vehicles. So that's dragsters, altereds, roadsters, funny cars as well. They can run in this class. It is a die-around bracket, 9.99 seconds or quicker. So the Colthrop brothers, front engine dragster of Neil Shy, they're moving forward.
Yeah, the 392 on board the front engine dragster up against the 427 Chev.
Yeah, Kerry Muller's roadster runs in the mid 8-second zone. Oh no, Neil's gone through the beams. So basically what that means is because he's already gone through the stage lights, this pass won't count towards qualifying. So he can still get an ET here, it just won't count.
040 up against the 086 for Kerry Muller.
Muller had some issues there, rolls off for a 910, 110 mile an hour. Neil Shy goes 892, 152 mile an hour. Next up in Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator, it will be Stefan Gowers to take on absolutely no one because it's a solo pass. Stefan Gowers now on track. The new combo, starting to get a feel for it, running in the 730s at the last QDRC. A former national champion in Modified Eliminator. Let's see if he's on the money this morning. Has Stefan had his wheat picks this morning? As I'm joined on the microphone by Wade. How you going, Wade? What do you think? Has Stefan had his wheat picks this morning? What do you think reaction times here?
He's a little bit chirpy down in the pits, so
He's
we'll see if he can turn that into a quick reaction time.
Solid 027. Shoots out early, goes 729, 183 mile an hour. That's pretty good pass for that. Would that be the quickest so far of the new combo?
No, I think it would be. I think it's running around that high 720s, low 730s, but starting to get some consistency, which is going to be key come racing this afternoon.
Yeah, it goes to number 3 with that 027. Will it hold? Because Jason Vanderlin's on track now in the Alton, and he is sharp. He is one of our tough racers in Modified. Just backing up here, Jason Vanderlin. Quick recap as Jason backs up. Dave Porter's number 1 with an 012. Lucas Holtz is number 2 with an 014. And we've just seen Stefan Gowers go down with an 027 reaction time. So those are our top 3 at the moment in Modified. Jason's he's backed up into full stage. He's just trying to keep going. There we go. So put it into gear now, move forward. So this altered usually runs around the high 760s. Just sounds like it's idling a little bit low, like it just listening to it here from up in the commentary box. It's moving forward now, just getting it into the groove where he wants to stage it.
It's not often you'd say that an altered's coming in stealth mode.
Yeah, you could hear there was some issues there for Jason in the Altered. That's not normally the case. It's usually a very, very consistent race car. It just rolls through for a 985, 101 miles an hour. Well, hopefully it's an easy fix for the team, and You go back to the pits, get it sorted, and we'll see him back out in Q2 for Jason Vanderlyn in the Altered.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But having a look at that qualifying list, Mark, I heard Chris say earlier how the modified drivers are usually on their game with reaction times. This morning being no different. But across all of the categories, the drivers have been sharp on the tree for the first qualifier this morning.
Yeah, we're moving now into modified bike eliminator. So we should have Top Sportsman, Super Comp, and Comp Bike to the lanes, please. Top Sportsman, Super Comp, and Comp Bike to the lanes, please. Jason White on the Hayabusa moving forward will be in our first pairing to take on Rebecca Marston on the Honda. Q1, just like all the other brackets we've seen so far this morning, it is about the reaction time. In modified bike, first pairing out. Who goes to number 1? It will be Rebecca Marsden. After the first pairing, she's gone 103. White was too quick, 188 red. And Marsden goes through 969, 139 miles an hour. Jason White goes 1114, 124 mile an hour. Next up, Bobby Schluter to take on Jason Clarkin. Now, Bobby raced in Comp Bike at the last QDRC from memory.
Yeah,
this time,
correct, yeah.
This time here in modified bike. Clarkin on the Hayabusa for full ball motorcycles. Both riders are in stage. It's another red light. This time it's the Clarkin. Bobby Schluter goes clean green, 226. And Clarkin, the quicker of the two, goes 980, 151 miles an hour. And Bobby Schluter in 1165, 130 mile an hour.
Yeah, and you touched on Bobby Schluter there too, Mark. So she actually, as you said, QDRC Comp Bike last round, but round 1 she was in modified bike. So done the old switcheroo, back to modified back.
Next up, well, I know that, man. Brian Alvizio on track to take on Alex Redmond. Alvizio on the Kawasaki for DeWalt. Well, he goes to number 1 with an 046. Alex Redmond goes 241. And Brian Alvizio, 889, 148 miles an hour. Alex Redmond goes 999 at 145 mile an hour. Alvizio, undefeated to start the season in modified bike, 2 from 2. Current championship leader as well. Second in the championship is this man, Alan Ennis Jr. on the Suzuki for Creative New Cabinets to take on Temi Goldthorpe. Temi hasn't really had the greatest start to the season by her standards so far. She's back down in 5th in the championship at the moment. She'll be looking to make a move this weekend.
Yeah, certainly she is the current track champion for modified bike as well.
Oh, that's the third 001 red we've seen this morning. This time it's Temi Goldthorpe. Alan Ennis Jr. on the Suzuki, second in the championship. He goes 044. Rolls through for an 871. Temi Goldthorpe goes 888. And Alan Ennis with that 044 should go to number 1. I think he pips our championship leader, Alvizio, by 1,000ths of a second or 2,000ths. Let's have a look at the qualifying leaderboard once we get it on our screen. But I'm pretty sure Alan Ennis will go to number 1 with that.
So just a quick call for QDRC SuperComp, QDRC Comp Bike, and a call for testing as well. So any testing vehicles, make your way around to the staging lanes. So QDRC SuperComp, Comp Bike, and testing.
We are in Q1 for modified bike eliminator. Championship leader and second in the championship already down track here in Q1. Alvizio and Alan Ennis Jr. And once I get this qualifying order to update, we'll know exactly.
Keep pressing that button, Mark.
I just keep pressing and nothing happens. Come on, what are these guys doing to me? Yeah, modified bike with a really quality field this weekend here for the Queensland Drag Racing Championships. Actually, we've seen all of our top 5 already down track in qualifying. Alvizio, Ennis, Clark, and Marsden, Goldthorpe. 1 through to 5 in the points have already gone down track. Might be just having a system reset here. That's why we're waiting on. And now we're moving into Top Sportsman. So that was the close. That's why I'm not going to sheet.
Yeah.
Because we're actually moving over to the other class.
Swapping brackets.
There we go.
They're too quick for you, Mark. They're efficient next door up here in the tower.
They are. We're moving now into Top Sportsman. On track first, it will be Denny Lake. Horsepower Solutions Top Sportsman. Denny Lake for Lang's Building Supplies in the Cutlass. Actually raced in the Nostalgia Pro Stock class that we had here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Nostalgias.
Yeah, that was a fantastic event too, Mark, and wasn't without drama. We swapped from quarter mile racing halfway through the day. They did their qualifying, and then we swapped to eighth mile racing for some technical issues. So, and for these guys, they were running on an index of 790. Now throw all that out the window today.
Would they make it like 500 or something?
Yeah, they had to change it.
Yeah.
So they did all the hard work to work out how to run that 790, and then it's like, no, work it out. Try again.
Especially if they're trying to slow it down off the first half and then bring it home strong. Or
That's right. But for Danny Lake, he can run quicker than that 790, and today he doesn't have to worry about running to an index. He can just run it out the back door and see how he goes. But ET, that's for racing. Reaction time.
good light off the trailer in Top Sportsman. 014 for Denny Lake. We'll go to that early number one spot with a 786, 172 miles an hour. Horsepower Solutions, Top Sportsman. Kayleen Gurley on track in the Tirana. The big supercharged Tirana runs in the low 8-second zone. She'll be taking on Dave Goldie in the Cutlass beside her from Master Art Designs.
Yeah, so we were just talking about the Nostalgia Pro Stock Mark, and Dave took out the inaugural round back at our Nostalgia meet. Knows how to win a trophy, that's for sure. Always a tough competitor in Top Sportsman.
Currently fourth in the championship, Dave Goldie. In Top Sportsman, Kayleen has only raced the one event, so she's a little bit down the pecking order on the championship side of things. But she was here at that last QDRC. Won 2 from 3. This is qualifying, though, for Horsepower Solutions Top Sportsman. 014. That's the reaction time to beat. Neither driver goes better than that 014. Goldie goes 027. Gooley goes 075. Goldie runs through for a 742, 186 mile an hour. Kayleen Gooley an 819 at 162 mile an hour.
Yeah, nice pass both sides of the race. It was a wheel speed for Kayleen off the start line. Lifted the wheels up in the air.
Yeah, that's pretty much where they've been running to. A1 in the 8-1 zone. Goldie, that's where he lives as well, 740s. Ah, yes, the Pontiac. On track of Dale O'Dwyer. For Precise Automatics, he'll be taking on Paul DeBlaine, the BF Cobra, our championship leader. Paul DeBlaine. So Paul DeBlaine has gone 2 from 2 in the final, so he's 1-1 runner-up at 1.
Not a bad way to start your track championship defence, Mark.
Dale O'Dwyer, and this, I think, what's Dale? He's raced one event this season as well. He raced the first round of the Queensland Drag Racing Championships, missed the second. DeBlaine goes 020. O'Dwyer goes 107. O'Dwyer goes 782, 175 miles an hour. DeBlaine an 853, 164 mile an hour. That reaction time for Paul DeBlaine will put him in at number 2 spot. Denny Lake still number 1. Goldie is currently 3rd. Noel Green in the Tirana for Lockyer Automotive now to take on Steve Horvat. Now Horvat won the last event in Top Sportsman. So he's got a bit of form on board coming into the 3rd round of the championship. He's 2nd as well in the championship as well after that win. But DeBlaine's already got a decent lead. He's got an 11-point lead on the field at the moment. So between Horvat to DeBlaine in the championship.
Yeah, and that's impressive too, Mark, after 2 rounds of competition for QDRC.
Especially when the points are so tight.
Yeah,
like when you get a little lead like that, that's a few rounds of racing already.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Horvath bumped out. So he probably would have been on the button. So he's got to try and get the car in the stage. So now, if Horvath had hit the button, he's got to let it go through the routine if it's changing gears and that, and then reset it and bump in. There we go. 003 red for Green and 032 red for Horvath. Horvath goes 842. Green goes 870. Patrick Barron on track, currently 5th in the championship, the Aussie Diffs Beretta. If we see an 013 or better, he will go to number 1 in qualifying for Top Sportsman. Horsepower Solutions Top Sportsman, Q1, and it's a 3000 red right there for Patrick Barron, so he'll go to the bottom of the field. He had a shot at it, he had a crack. An 866, 158 miles an hour for Patrick Barron.
It seems to be the tail of the tape too this morning, Mark, with the red lights. They're not big reds. They're really, as I said, we've already seen 3 001 reds and a couple of 003s there in a row.
And I think that will be close to a close in Top Sportsman now. We might be moving into SuperComp. So we should have Real Street, Super Street to the lanes, please. Real Street, Super Street to the lanes. Comp Bike should be in the lanes. And testing to the lanes, please. So testing, Comp Bike, Super Street, Real Street to the lanes, please. Raheem Tar, the Falcon, running in D Modified Street Automatic class for 477 Garage. Tar, the Ute, moving forward. We see Raheem Tar go through for 949 and 139 miles an hour. Of course, in SuperComp, we're running on indexes here at the Queensland Drag Racing Championships. What does that mean? Well, first to the finish line wins. Don't go red, get to the finish line first and you win. As long as you've got to stick within your class designation and rules, which you must abide by.
So given that we're in Group 2, Mark, with their qualifying, is it based off
It's based
on
off
the index, not off the reaction time?
It's off the index now, so reaction times don't matter now.
Okay.
So whoever goes further or closest or further under their index will be the number 1 qualifier. So when you look at Raheem Tar in qualifying, so he was 0.197 off his index. That's not going to hold. This man here on track, Josh Schlitter, he can go well under the index on records. Taking on Mark Sugars. So Mark Sugar's class this weekend's B Modified Production Automatic class, where Josh Schlitter's in F Modified Production. So the index for Josh Schlitter is a 956, index for Mark Sugars is a 929. So all of the rules are based around the style of cars, the chassis, the engines, weights per cubic inch. But these guys are like the nutty professors of drag racing, where they've got these rules that the parameters they've got to stay within, and then it's a matter of tweaking everything they can from suspension, finding that extra 2, 3, 5 horsepower where they can, gear ratios.
Yeah, it's
just where you can find any sort of thousandths of a second, you know?
A real engineer's class.
Yep. Because it is all about going as quick as possible. That manually shifted Cavalier out in front at the moment. Good reaction time as well, both sides of the track. Schluter will go through 8.74, well under that index, under the record as well. And Sugars goes 9.91, 136 mile an hour beside him. Schluter will go to number 1 in qualifying, 0.811 of a second under the index for Knijff Schluter. Wow. Sugars was 0.6 over his index. Next on track, it will be Nick Galea running in B Dragster Automatic. That's a new one for us this weekend. And Ian Pibble in the Falcon. So Galea has been running in Modified pretty much since day dot, since he started racing in the open classes with his Altereds and Dragsters. But he's here this weekend in SuperComp B Dragster Automatic. Now, I'm hoping he's got a different combo on board because he's only been running in the mid-8s. And the B Dragster Automatic class is a 770 index.
I guess probably
we'll
about
find out in about 10 seconds. Yeah. Ian Pimble running in a modified production automatic class, an index of an 872 in that Falcon for the By the Rules conveyancing car. Well, Galea got out strong, 108 to the 60 foot. It's definitely got some new horsepower on board. Had some issues after that point. Still goes 840 at 114 miles an hour. There's some potential there for Nick Galea. Ian Pimble rolls through for a 14-second pass. He had issues as well on the Falcon. That'll be interesting. I'm interested to see what Galea's Dragster does later on. 108 to the 60 foot though. That's quick. It got out strong.
Yeah, it's like dangling the carrot in front of the bunny. We want to see what it can do, Nick. Open it up.
Yeah. No, I think he might have had some issues, obviously, for Nick, but potential there for Nick Galea. Next up, our last pass here in SuperComp. It's going to be one of the legends of SuperComp here at Willowbank Raceway, Dave Tucker in the Camaro for heavy-duty carpets and vinyl. Running in BMPA, B Modified Production Automatic class, index of a 929. Dave Tucker to move forward. It's a name synonymous really with the performance classes or Group 2 racing. Won many events, championships. Dave Tucker, solo pass. Index 929. Wheels up. Dave Tucker. And out the back door, he goes through for an 894, 151 miles an hour. I saw the chutes moving around a bit there in the braking area. All good though by the looks of it. 894, 154 mile an hour, 151 miles an hour. That should put him into number 3 spot in qualifying. He was about, 3.5 tenths under his index for Dave Tucker. Yeah, we should be moving into QDRC Comp Bike. And one of the bikes that excites me is on track, and that will be Pete Farnell. Big field this weekend in Comp Bike. We had 8 entries in Comp Bike this weekend.
Yeah, good to see, Mark, that the Comp Bike boys coming out in force. And it is a tough category too. We always see plenty of tough bikes, tough competitors out there.
Now, it's the same as SuperComp that we just seen went down track, so this is an index class. So it's all about the ET for these guys. Get their number one spots, whoever goes furthest under their respective index. Now, it did look like Tucker made a bit of a move in the braking area on that last pass. So I'm not too sure if they're just checking anything out there. But no, we've been given the thumbs up. We're moving now into qualifying session number 1 for QDRC Comp Bike. And on track, it will be Arvin Otto on the BMW. This bike was insane last event. And Pete Farnell on the Hayabusa for Blazecraft. We can see the man behind Blazecraft out in front of the bike of Pete Farnell, Blaze Hansen. Just bringing the bike on track where he wants him to launch the bike. This is a low 7-second bike for Pete Farnell. Index of a 757.
And Arvine has got an index of a 951. Actually, these guys off the records in Comp Bike? They might be off the QDRC records.
Just to mix it up.
Just to make it nice and confusing for us.
Keep everyone on their toes. Avin Ortao, he was the winner of the last round of Comp Bike here.
First ever event, I think, as well.
that's straight to the top. So Bike can run in the mid-9s, so we'll see what he can do. And Pete Farnell, but number of passes on this bike, still getting used to it. It is quick. 0.49 for Pete, 0.73 for Avin Tar, but problems there for Pete Farnell.
I wonder if it just turned the tyres for Pete.
Or Tar, though, he'll go through full steam. Look at that, a 9.00 with an 8, 163 miles per hour. That is one fast street bike, Mark.
That's incredible, isn't it? And they are off QDRC record for Comp Bike this weekend. I just checked the rules out. So SuperComp's off the index, Comp Bike is off the record, the QDRC record. Oh, well, Pete's partner, Christy, having to do some running there. She's not used to that. she just gave me a look as well. We're going to have to stop half an hour so she can get her breath back. I'm sorry. Please don't hit me. That's all right. She's my brother. It's all good. Okay. We are in qualifying for Comp Bike. Next on track, it will be Ken Collin and Carl Pacey. Ken Collin running an A-altered bike this weekend. QDRC record of, I think it might be 8.28 for Ken Collin. And Pacey's an 8.91 on the A Street bike.
Yeah, so first QDRC event for 2024 for Carl. Track champion.
Oh, nice run for Ken Collins, 7.81 and 169 miles an hour. Pacey goes 9.38, 153 mile an hour. So the record, QDRC record was 7.86 for Ken Collin. Next up, it's going to be the B-altered bikes of Johnny Lewis and Chris Collin now. 8.07 is a QDRC record, both sides of the track. Heads up race. This was in racing. It's qualifying though.
How good's that?
So Johnny's been running in the low 8.0s with this Kawasaki. Colin, we know he's running to the 7s with his Hayabusa. To get the number 1 spot at the moment in Comp Bike qualifying, you need to be under that record. Oh, how about that for Chris Collins? 7.95, 166 miles an hour. Lewis goes 8.37, 158 mile an hour. A little bit off for Lewis. But Chris Collins goes under that record by nearly over a tenth of a second, 0.12 under. And that's close for Comp Bikes. I'm not going to get to see the qualifying order. We'll see it in Q2. We'll talk about it then. But Chris Collins, great pass. That'll put him in the top half of the field anyway.
So just a quick call for Real Street, Super Street and Junior Dragster. Real Street, Super Street, Junior Dragster to the staging lanes for your second qualifier.
Actually, we got some information on this vehicle just before. So we are moving into testing at the moment. Jamie Haig on track in front of us. Now he built this all himself, everything from the chassis, the body. How cool is this, the Hooligan? The drag bus.
The drag bus.
The Hooligan drag bus. Check him out. He's got a little Facebook
excellent
thing now. I might have to look that up actually on Facebook while he's on track. But it's first time out. It's been in the build for 6 years. This thing. How cool is that? That's what we like to see, variety in drag racing.
Perfect day to come in testing and licensing.
I can't wait to see what this thing does once it gets it all sorted. Like 6 years in the build, on track. And I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go like the page for him as well, because that's cool. So it was a hooligan drag bus.
Did you find it?
I found it. I'm
You got
following.
it.
I just
Here we
like
go.
for the lovers of V-dubs and drag racing, father and daughter race team. Father and daughter race team. There we go. Very, very cool.
There you go. So there's a challenge for everyone out there today in the grandstand over on the hill. Go and follow the hooligan drag bus. We've got people listening as well on overtaking
Hope it's
lanes.
the right
So
one, yeah.
if you're listening on the stream today, sitting at home in your recliner with your feet up, nice and comfortable, make sure that you jump on Facebook and follow the hooligan drag bus.
Any of our teams, the majority of our race teams out here do have Facebook pages where they do post their updates, what they're doing in between events.
100%.
You know, and content as well. Like some of the teams here have got some really decent followers. So it's always good to check out if you do have a favorite team. Have a look at their Facebook and give them a follow and share those likes. So we are in testing right now. We do need Real Street, Super Street, Junior Dragster to the lanes, please. We had about 120 entrants this weekend for the third round of the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. It sounds like we've got a bit of supercharged power on track moving forward, Wade.
Yeah, certainly does. We'll turn the volume up a little bit, and we'll be moving forward. Are we still in testing, or are we into Outlaws?
I don't think we have Outlaws this
don't have
weekend.
Outlaws? Okay.
No, I think it's SuperComp this weekend, no Outlaws.
I'll throw my entry list out.
Yeah, Super Street Junior Dragster, Super Sedan to the lanes, please. Super Street Junior Dragster and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. On track, though. I actually haven't got a name for this one. This week. 4826 is not on the entry list for testing.
Will be Gary Cameron
Gary Cameron, there you go.
in the altered. Let's see what Gary can do in the supercharged altered. Foot to the firewall, 122 reaction time.
Oh, what? 101 to the 60 foot. That thing got out strong. 687, 195 miles an hour, man. Didn't that get out like a bullet? 101 to the 60 foot. Just,
How do you like
that was
your-
unexpected.
How do you like your altereds, Mark? 6 seconds fast.
That was cool. 101 to the 60 foot. Just unexpected. Oh, we got a bit of slammer action now. Russell Pavey in the Corvette moving forward. Actually, we saw the National Drag Racing Championship calendar drop yesterday afternoon for the new season, Season 2 of the championship. Obviously, Russ Pavey has campaigned in the slammer class over the years. Local racer.
Yeah, as I said, Mark, good to see that calendar come out. It's a couple of events here at Willowbank. The New Year Nitro is back.
Yeah, the New Year series. We used to love the New Series here at Willowbank Raceway. We got it back. Again, we get to see Nitro Funny Car, Top Fuel Dragster. Russ Pavey, though, on track, has run this Corvette has run to the 580s. Bit of 100 mile an hour tape on the door for him from Benny Bray. The track must have a bit of bite to it. Watch Pavy's crew member there getting stuck. Now moving forward. Yeah, lots of shake there for Russ Pavey. Went 100 to the 60 foot. So that was solid there, 100 to the 60 foot, so that's good. Just had a little bit of shake, started shaking probably about 50 foot out there by the tyre marks on track. But it's data for the team. They can go back, have a look at it, and see if they can get this thing under power a bit further out. That's why we go testing here at Willowbank Raceway, the Queensland Drag Racing Championships, third round of the championship this weekend. Q1 in the books for all of our sportsman classes this morning. The sun is shining. If you're watching on the stream and you live locally, you should get out here.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a great day for drag racing up in the grandstand to watch.
Racing through to late this afternoon, early evening, so make sure that if you are local, you might be watching at home, get out here. Come and support
Feel
the
the
track.
noise.
That's it. There's nothing like watching drag racing at a track, is there, mate? You just don't get the sensation of being here.
Not at all. Not at all. It's one of those sports where it's just way better live.
I think the best part as well about coming out to a QDRC is you don't have the hustle and bustle of a Winter Nationals where you've got to fight for your spot. You've got to line up at the gate at 6 o'clock to get your favourite spot on the hill.
It's just a good day as well. You can bring out a little pop-up as well, sit on the hill, bring an esky with some sandwiches and some soft drink. And
let the kids roll around on the grass.
Yeah. Okay, now we're into Q2 of Real Street. On track first, Paul Nielsen in the FG to take on Tony Rogers, the BF, the Ute for Rogers. So qualifying is set now unless you didn't get out for that first session. Rogers gets out with a red light here, 017. Nielsen and 096. So these Q2 and Q3 is just all about consistency, making sure you're happy with the car, getting some confidence as a driver going before that first round of racing. We see Rogers goes through from 1174, 125 mile an hour. Nielsen at 1237 at 122 mile an hour.
There we go, Paulie Gingell in the Jeep. That's a whole lot of street car to get off the line. And he's left too early there, so won't record a time. Ian Nelson over in the Rocket Lane in the Commodore for Currumbin Valley and Plumbing. Pulls a red light. He will get an ET, though, after his run, and goes an 1190 at 116 miles per hour. So unfortunately, if you leave the start line, you break the beams too early, then you're not going to record a time at the end of your run. So coming forward next for Real Street, an exhibition bracket here today, one of the newest categories in the arsenal of IHRA. It's excellent and really provides another platform to come out and win yourself a Christmas tree or a trophy. As Mark takes a break and we jump Chris back on the mic. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, cheers, Wade. Yeah, Dale Samuelson up against Matty Coates. We see an 017 light for Samuelson, 177 there for Matty Coates.
So the Commodore wagon up against the Sedan.
Looks like the Sedan will get the wagon will get there first. A 12.14 at 115 and a 12.55 at 114 there for Dale Samuelson in the Caprice.
If you go to the airport in style, the Caprice probably got you there, and at 12.55 over the quarter mile, you're not going to be late for your flight.
Yeah, not bad there. And Shane Grattan up next, the BF Ford, just having a solo run. 376 light. So yeah, another great day for racing out here at Willowbank. And Shane Grattan goes 1389, 102 mile an hour.
Nice week there for Shane in the second qualifier. Just a quick call. So Super Street, Junior Dragster, Super Sedan, you guys should be in the lanes. Just a call for Top Sportsman to the lanes for your second qualifier. And Chris, how did you find your first stint this morning, mate? Did you blow off the cobwebs? Did you do any practice this week? It's been a couple of years since you've been up here.
I keep getting roped into doing stuff with Terry, so if he spots me at a car event or something around up at Queensland Raceway or wherever, he just chucks me on the mic as well. So you can't walk away from it, unfortunately.
Was it retirement or was it semi-retirement?
Me?
Yeah.
No, it was having a kid and all the rest of it that goes with it.
Life.
So, yeah, just general life. But Andrew King on the start line in the prefect up against Wade Moran, the SWC. 074 reaction for Wade Moran. And the Ford Prefect is gaining on him. A 10.99 for the Ford Prefect up against an 11.6 at 117 mile an hour for Wade Moran in that beautiful Mustang.
Yeah, absolutely. So good to see both cars get down for their second qualifier nice and clean. Just saw 25 cars so far qualified in prime side speed Elec Super Street, with Troy Hutton and Sean Taskers coming forward.
Yeah, be happy if you got your car back with that sort of paint job on the Holden U.
100%.
Absolutely beautiful there. It's 052 light for Sean Taskis in the Ford Capri. Troy Hutton there, 033 red. And he'll run it through for a 1075, 123 mile an hour. And Sean Taskis in the Capri, 1100, 120. Craig Leighton up next, all the way from Willowbank, New South Wales, in the Aussie Diff Statesman, up against Terry Glasby.
Also from New South Wales, a pair of New South Welshmen on the line.
Just waiting on Glasby to go into full stage. Red light there for Leighton, 058 red to 023 for Glasby. Glasby goes through an 11.96, 111 mile an hour, and Craig Leighton an 11.68, 116.
Don't think we saw too many red lights in our first qualifiers this morning, which is obviously when it counted for the first qualifier reaction time. Now they're like, hey, guess what? We can test the tree. Let's give it a crack.
Get all the reds out of the system before rounds of racing. Bud Kelly in the HQ Premier, big 454 on board. And up against Colin Marshall in the RC Performance Charger. And look at how the Charger stands. 081 light for the Charger of Marshall. And Marshall runs it through for an 11.3, 119 mile an hour, and a 10.82, 124 there for the HQ Premier. We got Tanisha Marshall in the RCE Performance Holden, and up against Darren Pittington in that beautiful orange Ford Capri.
It is, isn't it? They look good on track, the Capris. Sharp light too for Darren, 021, 163 for Tanisha Marshall. So now we can look towards the finish line. And for Darren, he'll go through an 11.13 at 120 miles an hour. Tanisha, an 11.66 at 116 miles per hour. So they'll be working on their consistency for their dial-ins for round one.
Up next, Nicole Goldie in the Total Cover Earthworks XE up against Jennifer Ashen in the Commodore. So, good Ford versus Holden battle.
Which side of the tree are you on, Chris? Ford or Holden? Are you?
Ford.
Yeah, the blue oval.
123 light for Nicole Goldie, 092 for Jennifer Ashen. It looks like the Commodore's got the legs at 11.39, 121 mile an hour, and 11.65, 117 there for Goldie. Great looking split bumper Camaro up against the Styromax Australia Hornet.
Yeah, John Massey, he's been having a good run in this car of late. And Wayne Nipris, currently second in the points for Super Street after our first two rounds.
Yeah, the old F-body just absolutely looks fantastic and pops the wheels up in the old Camaro. 337 light to a 178 from John Massey. And Wayne Nippers runs it through an 11.31 and 118 mile an hour for the Camaro, and an 11.81, 116 mile an hour for John Massey.
Nice work. As we've got the next pairing coming forward. I'm not sure if it's a QDRC or a Super Street event. Street Series. Josh Fletcher for Styrofan in the Tirana. Samantha Yulton over in the Commodore in the Rocket Lane.
Yeah, well, I think he uses the Street Series just to test his car.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh Fletcher, Styrofan, Tirana up against that Samantha Yulton in the BL Race Engines Commodore, both in pre-stage.
Many strings to the bow of Josh Fletcher, whether it's here in Super Street, Street Series, and then, hey, I'm just going to swap the street car for a supercharged Outlaw occasion as well.
He'll take some beating later on if he keeps doing the 048 reaction times. Samantha Yulton, a 128 reaction. Josh Fletcher goes through 10.76, 124, and an 11.84, 118 there for Samantha. And there we got William Keogh up against the chin. 028 red for Keogh, 041 for Rob Harrington. Harrington goes through 11.08, 122 mile an hour, and 11.98, 111 there for William Keogh.
You know, some of these races might be listening on 88 FM. And
They'll watch the replay.
yeah, they will too. That's right. Do you reckon they got the stream on their phone, on the phone holder?
Might be,
Yeah.
just playing in the dash.
That's it. See how I go.
Ray Ross in the Kevin Kent Racing Charger up against Murray Flay in the Commodore.
Oh, look at this. Battle of the Gold Coast. Surface Paradise versus Carrara.
045 reaction for Ray Ross. 112 there for Murray Flay. And the Charger's too strong. 10.07, 130 mile an hour. And 11.73, 118 there for Murray Flay in the Commodore.
So we've got Angela Holtz coming forward in the speed flow lane. Pair of
Holdens?
pair of Holdens. It says here an XD Ford, but it's definitely not for Gary Green in the wagon. A couple of wagons as well.
Wagon 066 for for Angela Holtz in the Monaro. Gary Green goes through a 10.38, 133 mile an hour, and Angela Holtz with a 11.07, 123 mile an hour.
Might have to get my eyes checked because it wasn't a pair of wagons, was it?
Definitely not.
I got it as wrong as the
Holdens.
timing system did. Yeah,
Yeah, Dennis Ryan, they're holding the 350 on board up against John Riley in the one-tonner. The old 308. Tramp on the gear change. So John Riley goes through an 11.94, 109 mile an hour, and an 11.82, 115 there for Dennis Ryan.
yeah. Pretty evenly matched there between John and Dennis.
Not wrong.
Big field of prime sign speed Elec Super Street here for round 3 of the QDRC season. Travis Greaves coming forward on a solo.
And the big wheel standing XD Falcon. And 3 on board. Runs it through 10.70, 125 mile an hour. Nice stout XD Falcon.
100%, just a casual 125 mile an hour across the finish line. If you don't mind, thanks for coming. In a hurry too.
That's right. And yeah, if you want to see any of the photos of today's action, get down to dragphotos.com.au and have a squiz. Dave's shooting with a couple of his mates out there.
He is. He always stands out in the high vis down there.
He's got his SunSmart.
The floppy hat,
Yeah, the big floppy hat, the long sleeve.
bristling in the breeze.
Sort of what you need out here in today's weather.
How is everyone out there doing in the grandstand? Are we having a good morning so far? Looking wonderful. It's a beautiful day. We got some beautiful race cars, and you guys are a beautiful bunch of people.
So yeah, we'll need who have we got next on the list to get called to the lanes their way. We've got Top Sportsman, Super Sedan, Junior Dragster. Do we just have Super Street?
We did. So always a good variety that you'll see out here at the QDRC with all of our categories.
Well, I'm surprised early this morning that more people weren't turning left. They were just kept going straight ahead.
I don't know what's on down there.
That's it. But, it looks like we've got a whole heap of junior dragsters lining up, so it's always good to see. A huge field this morning as first round of qualifying.
Yeah, it was, and just like Super Street, the juniors are just a big field.
That's it.
Big field.
So quali 2 for SuperFloor Junior Dragster.
So you're going to be up for a junior dragster then, Chris, with the little one, or?
Who knows? She might want junior bike.
Yeah, that is fair. Different variety, and they've got plenty of options these days, don't they?
That's it. You've got to go to 2 wheels before you go to 4.
I reckon they have more fun on the junior drag bike. We don't have any of them here today, but they get to do a burnout. They get to change gears, and they look fast while they're doing it.
That's it.
But hey, junior dragster, a hell of a lot of fun as well. Big field, very competitive field, and the first pairing, Max Mason over in the rocket lane for Downs Classic Towing, and James Loday, who has dabbled in the junior drag bike category, back on 4 wheels.
Loday in the A Junior. There's Max in the B Junior. And these cars are so dialed in, it's basically one on the tree. So an 024 light up against an 074 light for Max Mason. James Loday runs it through an 839 at 77 mile an hour and a 929 there at 70 mile an hour for Max Mason.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Chris. They're definitely sharp on the tree, and they're not doing it with any electronics. It's just foot on the accelerator and launch the car.
Yeah, it's definitely the cars are just dialed in, so it's all down to that driver on the start line. Max Rowling up against Niella Paul.
Always good to see our juniors with the names on the side of their car. For Max, more pocket money, something that I always wanted as a kid.
Yeah, and the JD Race Cars Junior of Neil Paul. Out with an 068 light and an 081 from Max Rowling. And Max Rowling's got that A Junior sorted, an 806 at 79 mile an hour up against an 847 at 77. Next, Alex Kidd in the Bobcat Service Junior Dragster up against Tyler Bellett in the TBRE Performance Junior.
These two lined up alongside each other in the first round.
Kidd into pre-stage first. Oh, great reaction time from both drivers, an 089 to an 095. A nice side-by-side pass there, an 802 for Tyler Bellett and an 840 for Alex Kidd.
These juniors sharp on the tree. Whatever they've all had for breakfast, sign me up. They're on it. They're killing it. They're doing a good job out there. The future stars of the sport, and some of them are already stars as well.
Yeah, it's definitely the feeder series into a lot of other categories in the QDRC.
Yeah, 100%.
Amelia Wright up next in the Illicit Auto Electrical Junior. In the Speedflow lane up against Jasmine Kidd, developed Bobcat Service Junior Dragster in the rock lane.
It always fascinates me as well, Chris, with the juniors. Like, it's a category you can age out of, but it's a category that just continues to have big numbers. Once a few of them graduate into other categories, the next couple come through.
There's a sharp light. 0.15 for Jasmine Kidd, 0.46 for Amelia Wright. Amelia Wright goes through for 7.98 at 81 mile an hour, and an 8.74 at 73 there for Jasmine Kidd. And yeah, you can definitely see some of the junior dragster drivers already having kids already, and you see Mark Allen, he's got a couple, so hopefully he's a junior dragster. Let's get a modified back. Kyle Day up next in the RLC Engine Reconditioning Junior up against Paige King in the AEB Services Junior.
Very aggressive paint job on the Kyle Day Junior down there. Can't miss it with the fluoro orange. 204 on the tree. Red light for Paige King. And goes through at 8.57 with a 6 for Kyle. And Paige will finish off an 8.74 in the B Junior for A&B Services.
Yeah, so the SuperFloor Junior Dragster category keeps bringing those cars around. Nixon Canuli in the A Junior up against Tamika Castlake in the B Junior.
So Nixon coming off a last event win here. Round 2 of the QDRC. Currently leading the points as well, tied with Vans Pirano, who we're yet to see in this qualifying session. So having some good success recently here at Willowbank Raceway.
Newer looking junior dragsters.
Yeah, it's almost the Top Fuel cockpit style, isn't it?
Yeah,
without
yeah.
being enclosed.
Both into pre-stage. Just going to rock their junior dragster into full stage. There we go. We got Tamika in. Oh, 7 not 5 lights there for Nixon Canuli. Tamika Castlake with a 285 light. And a 796 at 82 mile an hour for Nixon Canuli. Tamika Castlake there with a 875.72. Fine changes just before the next pairing. Dakota Bray and Carl Schultz.
Yeah, so a couple of the A juniors on the start line, ready to rock and rumble. Smith Transport on board for Dakota Bray. A Civil and SCG Racing Parts for Carl Schultz. Just a quick call for Super Sedan Modified and Top Sportsman. Super Sedan Modified and Top Sportsman to the staging lanes.
.063 to an 011 from Carl Schultz. And Carl Schultz holds off with the 801 at 80 mile an hour, and Dakota Bray an 804 at 80.24.
They're good, the A juniors.
Yeah, so sharp on that Christmas tree. So Lexi Lancaster in the B Junior up against Cody Sedmak, another of the B Juniors. I did notice in the entry list there was only one C Junior. So it's an opening for some of the younger drivers if if their parents are willing to support them.
That's it, isn't it? Like, why don't you go and play soccer or cricket or basketball on a Saturday? No, Mum, no, Dad, I want to go drag racing.
That's it.
I want to go fast. Why don't you do the 100-metre sprint? No, I want to do 8th mile. I want to put a helmet on. Well, then some of our juniors just do both.
Yeah.
They play sport and they come and do drag racing.
Oh, 5-0 right there for Cody Sedmak, a 149 for Alexi Lancaster. Alexi goes through an 8.59 at 76 mile an hour and a 9.07 there at 71 for Cody Sedmak.
But as we said, it's just a class that it's for most drag racers, it's their first step into a junior, and they can learn the fundamentals, learn what it's all about.
Yeah, the whole start line procedure.
That's it. And here is the Cody Robertson in the lone CJD, doing it for the CJDs out there in the Rocket Lane. Chase Castlake, who had his shoes in the first qualifier this morning.
Yeah, so Cody Robertson giving it a crack out there, 5.54 for reaction time. And he'll run it through for a 12.11, 53 mile an hour, and an 8.23 at 79 there for Chase Castlake. Here you go, Wade Vance Pirano. He's right up there at the top of the leaderboard in points.
Yeah, he is. He's had some good success of late. Tied for points. He's made a couple of finals. Definitely made one. Made the final in the first round, but that was coming off some success at the Winter Nationals.
And he's up against Jacob Schultz there in the A Civil Junior Dragster.
So he's starting to build a healthy resume in Junior Dragster.
Success that'll end up hopefully following him through his full drag career. .149 light there for Jacob Schultz. There's Parado and 030 red. And 76 mile an hour for Vance Pirano and 8.58 at 75 for Jacob Schultz. Not much in it.
Just let him go. Heads up drag racing. Nice work. From one Pirano to the next. Jet Pirano coming forward for Beck's Hair and Lounge. And he'll be up against Nixon King. It's a battle of Jacob's Well supremacy. 4208 represent.
See these guys racing through the K-Fields down Nixon King in the Mid-King Transport Junior.
Do you reckon they get the advantage at just, late at night we'll strap a torch on the front when there's no traffic and we'll let them have some practice?
So we get Super Sedan, Modified Bike and Top Sportsman to the lanes, please. Nixon King right into full stage. Jet Pirano's in pre-stage, just some dramas on the line there for Jet Pirano, but 188 for Nixon King. Runs it through for a 9.16 at 69 mile an hour. So yeah, some last minute dramas there for Jet Pirano on the line. Just could not get that car going properly. Yeah,
it is unfortunate as well, and it just means you miss an opportunity to get data and get a time for your qualifying sessions before racing.
Yeah, that's it. The track is evolving with temperature and the rest of it. So
it's that beautiful time of year, isn't it, Chris, where in the sun it's beaming hot, and then you go back behind the grandstand in the shade and you're putting a jumper on.
Yeah, that's it. Cracker days, the end of winter.
Yeah, yeah.
Stinking.
It was. And then last weekend, just 35 degrees on a Saturday.
It was roasting.
Not when you want to spend your day in a race suit.
So on track, we got Isabella Hunter in the B Junior, supported by Playfall. .265 reaction time. Runs it through for an 8.89 at 71 mile an hour. So nice. You could hear it just go on song just across the finish line. So that's just what you want.
Yeah, that's it. Nice work there for Isabella in the B Junior. Looks like it'll close out our Junior Dragster qualifying session number 2. Thanks to SuperFloor for sponsoring our Junior Dragster bracket. Of course, if you do have a business out there and you're looking to get involved in sponsorship, make sure you contact the Willowbank office. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. We've got a couple of brackets here this weekend that are looking for sponsors. But it doesn't have to be QDRC. It could be the street series you want to get involved in, or a bit of track signage.
Exactly right. There's plenty of marketing opportunities for your business.
Yeah, that's right. Plenty of space on the wall to get your business out there for some of the bigger events here. But now that we've got it overtaking lane doing the stream for our QDRCs, you get coverage at a lot more events, a lot more reach for the businesses out there.
Looks like the Morris's Monaro. Yeah, Damien Morris in the Morris Painting Solutions Monaro moving forward for the next category of Super Sedan. Nice sharp burnout there for the Monaro, and up against Hamish Strawn in the Complete Property Commodore. Looks great with the matte black finish on the Commodore. Morris out with a 024 light to an 043 from Hamish Strawn. And Strawn goes through for a 969, 140 mile an hour, and a 990, and 134 for Morris.
Yeah, strong passes both sides there for our first pairing in qualifying session number 2 for Super Sedan.
And we just seen the burnout there of Rudy Wyatt, Pine Mountain Performance VS Commodore. We didn't see Judy move forward, but she's having some. She's up in the burnout area. Rudy Wyatt looking over. Here we go, Judy Pukas is.
Didn't hear her go through a burnout process down there.
She's just rolled through, I think. Oh, 2-3 light for Wyatt. 194 for Pukas. Yeah, I didn't think she wanted to keep him waiting too long on the start line, and runs it through for a 10.59, 116 mile an hour, and a 9.59, 145 there for Rudy Wyatt. These guys have swapped lanes.
Familiar territory as far as who they're lining up against.
Yeah, Mick Newport in the mix. Mick Newport contracting Tirana up against Bob Price in the Pine Mountain Performance LH Tirana.
Tirana's doing battle in Super Sedan. 0.21 for Rob Price, 0.36 for Mick Newport. Well, Rob Price looked to get a little bit towards the centre line there after half track, but keeps it nice and straight. A 9.52 with a 442 miles an hour, and Mick Newport will go through a 9.47 with a 3 at 140. A couple of evenly matched Tiranas, Chris.
Yeah, fantastic to see on track, and Just another call out for Modified Bike, Top Sportsman and QDRC SuperComp. We need you to the lanes. Modified Bike and Top Sportsman and QDRC SuperComp must get to the lanes. Up next, we got Andrew Everding in the Jones Performance Engines Corolla up against Wayne Height in the Boss Hoses Toyota. So, little Corolla versus the old Celica Super look. It's an 0.77 reaction for Andrew Everding in the Corolla. 172 there for Wayne Height. Wayne Height goes through for a 9.28, 137 mile an hour. Andrew Everding there at a 10.60 at 99.
Mr. Number One in the qualifying order with the 001 light this morning is Adam White in the Commodore.
Yeah, super sharp on the tree early this morning. Will we see another performance to rattle Mitchell Bauer? Oh, 2-3 light for Adam White, 0.53 for Bauer. And the Ford comes on strong, a 9.36, 147 mile an hour, and a 9.54, 141 mile an hour for Adam White. So, yeah, great side-by-side action. Looks like Kayleen Gourley on going through a burnout routine.
Yeah, so that means we'll be coming forward into Top Sportsman. So from Super Sedan into Top Sportsman, of course, caters for the quickest of the sedan brackets here in our Sportsman events.
That's it, brought to us by Horsepower Solutions.
So more an appropriate sponsor than Horsepower Solutions for a quick sedan.
That's it. And Kayleen Gourley's Toronto just means business just looking at it.
It does. Got the big wheelie bars hanging out the back. Just means a good time.
That's it. I was thinking the blower might be meaning a bit more better times, but
100%.
0.47 reaction time, and doesn't blow the tyres off at this run, and runs it through for an 8.29, 162 mile an hour. So yeah, great mile an hour in the deep end.
So how many have we got for Top Sportsman here this weekend? So there's 8 on the entry list. Don't know how many we had qualified. So there we go. 8 qualifiers.
All 8 qualified. Just 3 were red.
It's one of those categories. It's never got the quantity of your super sedans and your super street or your junior dragster, but the quality is always top notch. You look at the entry list and you go, gee, any one of these 8 competitors could win here today.
Well, that's it. Some big names in that list too. So yeah, good to see all 8 cars out on track. We've got Danny Lake in Lang's Building Supplies Cutlass up against Dave Golding in that Master Art Designs Cutlass.
Yeah, so it's the winner of the first Nostalgic Pro Stock event in Dave Goldie up against the runner-up in Danny Lake from our Nostalgic meeting not too long ago. But here they are in Top Sportsman.
Yeah, very successful Cutlass in Dave Goldie.
Both competitors are tied on points so far over 2 rounds, 31 points.
One light for 0.17 for Danny Lake. Both are very sharp on the tree, and Dave Goldie goes through a 7.48, 185 mile an hour. And the 790, 171 mile an hour there for Danny Lake.
Oh, how good that would have done Danny the Water good in Nostalgic Pro Stock on a 790 index with the 2. But today, hey, he can dial in a little bit later on.
Patrick Barron in the Aussie Diffs Beretta up against Paul Doblin. Not many cubes differing between the two. 580 in the Beretta, 572 in the BF Cobra. An 018 light there for Paul Doblin. Runs it through for an 856, 163 mile an hour. And Patrick Barron, an 872, 157 on that red. So we've got Steve Horvath in the Monaro up against Dale O'Dwyer in the Precise Automatics Firebird up next. Some great burnouts there. See the tyres coming out of Steve Horvath's Monaro.
Yeah, certainly. And is there a more aerodynamic looking car in drag racing than a Firebird?
Yeah, the mid to late 90s Firebirds were just so sleek.
So looking good down there for Dale O'Dwyer. Steve Horvath, another one of these drivers that's had some recent success. And he had...
Nothing means business like an old QE though.
Yeah.
Look at that, 001 light to an 032 to Dale O'Dwyer, and Popster shoots early, 784, 173 there for Dale O'Dwyer, and an 851, 155 for Steve Horvath.
Just a quick call for Modified. You guys should be in the lanes because you guys are up next. Modified Bike, QDRC SuperComp, Comp Bike, and testing. So Modified Bike, QDRC SuperComp, Comp Bike, and testing to the lanes, please.
Another one of those magnificent looking Tiranas on the start line. Noel Green with the Lockyer Automotive Tirana. The old Giggle Gas sticker on the side. Picks the wheels up, 015 light for Noel Green. 868, 158 mile an hour there. So a nice quick pass there for the bright red Tirana.
Yeah, certainly. So we are moving into Knijff Earthmoving Modified. So I'm going to jump out and allow Mark to jump back in. I think he knows a little thing or two about modified racing.
Yeah, I'm a perfect example of what not to do in modified.
What, give up?
Red lights, you name it. I've lost every way possible. So I can tell you the ways to definitely lose.
So yeah, first up we got Neil Shire in the Coulter Brothers front engine dragster up against Dave Porter. And Porter in the DK Equipment Hire dragster.
Yeah, modified, brought to us by Knijff Earthmoving. This is session number 2.
So session number 2, what would that usually bring you, Mark? You'd just be trying to dial that car in off the trailer? You
don't want to, obviously you're not changing anything with your combo, you're not changing tune-up or anything like that. It's warmer, so you'd expect to lose probably around 200s after that first qualifier this morning, just because of the heat, temperature and that. So you just want your car to follow the conditions of the weather and the track. That's all you'd be looking at.
So you wouldn't be changing much in the delay box or anything like that?
No, because qualifying doesn't really matter. As long as you know where you're reacting, it's okay. 756 for Dave Porter there and 881 for Neil Shire.
Like you can, there's no issue with changing to delay box, but I personally I usually just leave it for the 3 qualifiers, and then if for some reason I'm off or I'm going quick that day, I'll change it. But it's just a number. It's literally just a number for you during qualifying, the delay box side of things for the reaction time. And as a human, you can only react so fast to the top bulb. So if you know how quick you can react, because everyone keeps track of all their data and that, so you know the quickest I've ever reacted today, I'm 10,000 slower than normal. I don't know. It doesn't. You just make a judgment call.
Yeah.
And it's literally drag racing is just about numbers. So everything's a number. The weather's a number. The ETs, the conditions, the track conditions. Even when they're checking how sticky a track is, it's just numbers that you're getting, and you're collating it all, and then trying to make a judgment call later on.
Yeah. So up next we've got Andrew Pinkstone, Pinky's toy, up against Jason Vanderlind in the altered.
Oh, these guys are dialed in. 005 red for Pinkstone, 009 green for Vanderlind. So Vanderlind had issues in that first qualifier, but it's all good here now. 774, 175 miles an hour, and Pinkstone goes 758, 176 mile an hour.
Yeah, so 2 very sharp packages right there.
Actually, in saying that, it hasn't been that long since our last qualifying session, so you're probably going to find they're going to be very similar, ET-wise, to what they did in that first session. Now, just thinking out loud about how long, because it's only been about an hour, really.
Yeah. So Darryl Williamson in the 23 altered up against Phil Bella in the TBRE Performance Dragster.
Yeah, SuperComp Comp Bike and testing to the lanes, please. SuperComp Comp Bike and testing to the lanes, please.
Yeah, so we're getting through today's program pretty quickly.
Why would you say that, Chris? You don't say that.
But it's great.
You can blame Chris now for anything that happens.
The packed staging lanes, and yeah, Darryl Williamson on the line into full stage. 028 light to an 012 for Phil Bella.
Yeah, they're tightening up their reaction times here in Q2.
Yeah, they are indeed. Phil Bella runs it through 773, 170 mile an hour. Darryl Williamson 785, 169. So yeah, some very quick dragsters and altereds out there.
Next up, it'll be Chris Reed and Stefan Gowes on track. Reed in the Roadster, Gowes in the Dragster.
Yeah, the old CR Engineering.
So I think Reed, from memory, he went 8:34 in Q1. Gowes went 7:29. So let's see how close they are to those ETs here in Q2. It's been an hour since our first session. I would suspect they're going to be within, 100th or so of that, either side of the ETs that they ran earlier today.
And very sharp on the tree. 020 light to an 030 from Chris Reed. Gauss pops the shoots early. 735, 183 mile an hour. And Reed at 835.
Okay, so Reed was 100 slower, and Gowes had the shoots out early there for that 35.
So yeah, Stefan Gowes, he would have just had all the incrementals before, except for the finish beam.
Yeah, even though the shoots were out early, you don't lose too much ET. You wash off speed, but ET, because you got all that momentum there, you're only talking thousandths of a second when you back off early, or the shoots out early in the traps. So you're not really washing off too much ET. So it probably would have been only like a 34 out the back door anyway. So
Abby McDonald on track up next in the Mick Newport Contracting front engine dragster up against Lucas Holtz. Lucas Holtz in the Mad Dog Motorsport altered. Looks like we got one of the officials just having a look at the back of Abby McDonald's front engine dragster.
Yeah, Lucas in Q1, he went 920 in the altered, and Abby went 762 from memory in the front engine dragster.
Lucas Holtz already into pre-stage.
Abby was one of those drivers that went 001 red from memory in that first qualifier as well.
Yeah, she was.
Lucas hasn't moved. That's interesting for Lucas Holtz. I wonder if it's stalled or... Abby McDonald, though, no issues. 011 on 3 goes. So she loses a bit of ET. 771 or 172 mile an hour. So she's down a bunch in ET. And Lucas has got issues here. Championship leader for Lucas Holtz. Issues on the start line. It's not happy at the moment, the altered.
He's trying to get pushed back, I think.
Yep, he's told the crew, yeah, push me back. So I wonder if it's either an electrical gremlin on the trains brake there, or if there's more issues with the tune-up and it's stalled on him. Anyways, we'll see Lucas back, hopefully in Q3, championship leader.
Yeah, that'd be a big loss for the championship lead.
Well, the thing was with Lucas, the car was still running.
Yeah.
So even if there's issues that can't make you race, I would be still staging the car, getting the points, and then hoping for red lights or whatever. And I would definitely be telling the guys, yeah, it's all sweet. Yeah. Anyone's coming up and asking me, yeah, she's sweet. You don't want them to think that your car's broken.
That's it. Brett Farnell up next in the Team Bray Racing front engine dragster, and Kerry Muller in beside him in that red roadster.
Now, Muller on the first pass rolled off early. It was a low 9-second run. Brady from memory had just a normal clean pass for him. Q2, Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator. This will be the last pairing on track for Knijff Earthmoving Modified. SuperComp Comp Bike and testing, you guys should be in the lanes. SuperComp Comp Bike testing, you guys should be in the lanes now.
So Farnell going straight into full stage. Out with 049 lights.
Yeah, Muller had some issues there on the start line. Brett Farnell, though, he was clean, goes 823, 156 mile an hour. And Muller, though, 844, great run for Kerry Muller, 157 mile an hour. I think that's one of the quickest passes I've seen out of the Roadster.
So what did you see on the start line from Muller's Roadster? Just bobbled on the start line, or?
Well, it just sat there, but it was clean though. It was 119 to the 60 foot. I wasn't sure if it was struggling to get up in trains brake or something, but it was fine. That was a clean pass and one of the quickest I've seen it run. So for Kerry now, it's just a matter of getting the start line sorted, good reaction time and repeatability from the car and the performance. Now we're moving into a modified bike eliminator Q2. On track, Bobby Schluter and Rebecca Marston.
Yeah, so you see the difference between the B-mod bike and the D-mod bike with that extended swing arm.
Yeah, Honda for Rebecca, Kawasaki for Schluter. Rebecca ran a 960 in Q1. Bobby was in the 11-second zone.
Yeah, Rebecca Marston, a 446 reaction to a 230 from Bobby Schluter.
One of them had some struggle with the gears there. It sounded like there was a bit of free rev. Yeah, I think Rebecca only 11.05, 135 miles an hour. She might have had some issues there shifting. And Bobby Schluter, another 11-second pass at 11.72, this time at 125.
Yeah, some high RPM there in the burnout for Alex Redmond and Alan Annis Jr. And Alan Annis just reaching down, having a look at the, must be the shifter, on the Hayabusa, up against the Suzuki of Alex Redmond. .389 light for Redmond and 073 for Alan Annis Jr. And Alan Annis Jr. runs it through for an 868, 152 mile an hour, and a 10 flat, 141 mile an hour for Alex Redmond.
Yeah, some more solid passes here. Brian Alvizio, the champ, Alvizio. Jason White in the lane beside him in the Hayabusa. Brian Alvizio running for DeWalt Tools.
Yeah, the big Kawasaki.
Undefeated this season so far, Alvizio.
And you just see how that bike rips up. A 007 red for Alvizio and a 023 red for Jason White. Alvizio will run this through 890, 148 mile an hour. So a nice quick pass there out of the Kawasaki.
All right, Real Street, Super Street Junior Dragster to the lanes, please. Real Street, Super Street Junior Dragster to the lanes, please.
Jason Clarkin in the full bore motorcycles Hayabusa up against Tammy Goldthorpe on that GSXR.
The Suzuki, yep. Both riders into pre-stage. Now, Tammy went into the high 8s in Q1. In the 880s.
Tammy Goldthorpe sharp on the tree, an 0.32 light to a 2.45 from Jason Clarkin. And Tammy goes through an 8.89 at 154 mile an hour, so not far off her previous run.
Yeah, no, they're very consistent for Tammy Goldthorpe. Clarkin, 970, 150 mile an hour. A good reaction time for Tammy as well. Currently 5th in the championship. It's a real quality field in modified bike this weekend. That brings it close to Q2. Now we're moving into Q2 of SuperComp.
QDRC SuperComp. Ian Pimble in the By the Rules Conveyancing Falcon up against Raheem Tar in the 477 Garage Falcon. You can see the crew just struggling with the with trying to keep their shoes on, guiding these cars into the start beams. So Raheem Tar in the Speedway lane, Ian Pimble in the Rocket lane.
Currently qualified number 3 and 6. Pimble's 6th qualifier. Tar is number 3 qualifier at the moment.
Yeah, so an 010 light for Pimble, 027 red for Tar, and Pimble run it through for a 935 at 145 mile an hour and a 1091, 112 there for Tar.
Yeah, Tar was a little bit off his earlier run. So Tar will stay number 3. Pimble will actually move up one spot to 5th. In qualifying, next up will be the dragster of Nicholas Galea. You talk about potential. That first qualifying pass for Nick Galea, it's the first time we've seen Galea run in SuperComp, B-Dragster automatic. It was 1.0 to the 60 foot, then had some issues around the 60 foot mark, but potentially he can definitely dip into the 7s off that sort of 60 foot.
And these are running to the QDRC records or the
QDRC records, yeah. Actually, I just have to get it confirmed with the off QDRC records, but with an index. Yeah. So the index is based off the QDRC records.
Yeah, he lost fire in the dragster. Just had to.
Yeah, self-started, so that's all right for Nick. He can get it started back up, keep the revs up. Sometimes, obviously, when you do the burnout, she just gets loaded with fuel and you back off, and she just coughs out. Coughs out.
Making sure to reverse back right on those 2 licorice strips. You just need to go back a bit more.
Yeah, Nick Galea now for advanced sheet metal, the dragster. I am really curious now just to see the potential of this setup with Nick Galea. And Nick's dad, John, ran a lot of SuperComp back in the day. And Pro Stock as well.
Perfect
Trip for 0. First one of the day. It's a little slow to the 60 foot, but it should be in the 7s here anyways. Yeah, 763, 173 mile an hour for Nick Galea.
Yeah, so super sharp on that tree. That's the first one of the day.
Yeah, trips it for Galea. He's always been sharp on the tree though. But now he won't be allowed to use his delay box. So he's been campaigning in modified now for a lot of years. And SuperComp, you're not allowed to use delay boxes, so it's off the bottom bulb. But yeah, that's a 10th under, I think, Nick Galea's QDRC record there.
Up next, we've got Jay Schluter in the 477 Garage Chevy Cavalier. Up against Mark Sugars in the Demon Race Engines XD Falcon.
So how's the qualifying
That's
order look now, Chris? No, that's definitely not. Yeah, you're right. So Galea goes to 3rd. He's 600s under there. Tucker 2nd. Schluter 1st. Sugars is 5th on track at the moment.
Old Falcon Sprint. See Dylan Leo just crewing on the Josh Schluter car. Both cars into pre-stage. 096 light for Sugars, a 153 there for Jai Schluter.
Looks like Schluter, is he rolled off a little bit there? He has. Sugars will go through 981. He picks up a tenth of a second at 137 miles an hour, and Schluter just rolls through for a 1089, 85 miles an hour.
We're into some bike action, Mark.
Yeah, going back into QDRC Comp Bike now. Real Street, Super Street, Junior Dragster, you guys should be in the lanes, please. Super Street, Real Street, Junior Dragster to the lanes, please. We're going into qualifying session number 2 for Comp Bike.
Oh, the first we've seen of Carl Pacey on track up against Ken Collins. So Carl Pacey in the Marshall Mountain Motors Suzuki. Up against Ken Collins on the Rascal Race Engines Hayabusa. .099 light for Carl Pacey and 024 there for Ken Collins. And Ken Collins will run it through a 781, 168 mile an hour.
Identical to his Q1 pass to the thousandths of a second. 902 for Pacey. He picks up 3/10 on his earlier pass as well. But that's consistent from Ken Collins.
Oh yeah, that'd be a very hard bike to beat coming into later on today. Aveen Orta in the up against Chris Collins.
That was Aveen, half a second under the QDRC record.
That's crazy times.
9:51 for the B Street bike is the record. Chris Collins, 8:07 on the B Altered bike record. Currently number 2 qualifier.
Sitting a 10th under as well. And Chris Collins runs it through a 793 at 167 mile an hour and a 9 flat. 163 mile an hour there for Aveen Orta.
Yeah, Aveen will stay at number 1. He improves by 3 thou. And Collins picks up a couple hundredths as well. Just another call for Real Street, Super Street, Junior Dragster. Our first call for Super Sedan to the lanes, please. Super Sedan as well to the lanes. Next up, Pete Farnell had issues in that first session on the AA comp bike, taking on Johnny Lewis, the B Altered bike.
So it looks like the conditions are starting to pick up a bit for these bikes.
Well, Farnell's got the potential to go, depending on how hard they've got the bike set up today, but I think he could definitely run a 730, high 720 in these conditions. But not knowing how they've got the bike set up, just all guess games for us up here in the commentary box.
That's it.
But if he does run a 730, that'll put him at least 2.5 tenths under the QDRC record for Farnell. Sounded like a little bit of spin there for Farnell. He's got issues on the shift though there. Johnny Lewis, no issues on his bike. The Kawasaki goes through for an 865. Well, he's a little bit off as well, 156 mile an hour. And Farnell, it's been a bit of a dream run for him so far with this bike in the debut, and some issues today in Q1 and Q2.
Oh, hopefully they can resolve those early on and get out for the rounds of racing.
Yeah, some gremlins there for Pete Farnell.
It'll be mainly that wheel spin on the gear change. Yeah, it'd be that wheel spin on the gear change to try and resolve that on Pete Farnell's bike.
But that's the challenge for when you got the power that Pete Farnell is probably trying to harness and control. In conditions on a warmer day, you know, they're the challenges you're going to face. As we move into testing now, we've got the drag bus of Harry Haig on track. The debut event for the drag bus, all home built by Harry himself at home in his shed, 6 years.
Yeah, LS1 turbo combination powering the combi. And yeah, Jamie Haig, just 6 years to build it. Well, that's pretty cool.
Jamie Haig.
So yeah, just getting out and doing the licensing runs.
Gets out, yeah, 5 second reaction time there. So we watch the drag bus goes through for a 12-second pass. Just
At 73 mile an hour.
only
too.
73 miles an hour. Like hit that was just obviously just easy. Just easy there for Jamie Haig
So
in
as
the
part of
drag bus.
So when you're going through the whole licensing procedure, it's probably been a while for you, Mark, but so you just got to do like a couple of start lines.
Yeah, so the licensing procedure for if you are a newbie, with the IHRA, you get your launch, and once they're happy with that, you get your half track as well. So you got to back off half track, and when they're happy with that, then they let you go to the full track as well. So there is a process that you have to go through for your licensing, step-by-step process, and stuff that you have to do before you go on track as well. They have what they call the blindfold test, where you sit in the car blindfolded and go through, where all the controls are, how to turn the car off, shut everything down, and so forth as well.
Yeah, okay. So, and obviously there'd be medicals as well.
Yeah,
and all the rest
you've
of
got
it.
medicals, as well, that you've got to go through before being able to race.
So just one of the many ways that the track and the
Yeah,
competition are trying to make things safer out here for all the drivers.
exactly. It's one of my favourite things, doing the medical.
Cough, Mark, cough.
No, they don't do that.
So yeah, plenty of testing vehicles out here today. Nothing like a outdoor.
Yeah, the supercharge altered on track. I think it's Gary Cameron. They were saying earlier today. That I think Wade might have said that actually, but we don't have a name up here at the moment.
Yeah, it is Gary Cameron. It's good to see him bringing the noise out for the Donnelly Blasting Services QDRC.
Testing here at the moment. Obviously, we will have Outlaws, I think, back at the next round of the Queensland Drag Racing Championships.
Yeah, it's always a category to come out and watch. It's
It's a little bit tame at this time. It was 101 in the 60 on the first pass. Went through for a 6-second run. This time it goes 705, 191 mile an hour. So it was just a little bit softer that time around.
so whether it's just the heat getting to it, or if it's just
Oh, they could have been trying things as well. We don't know.
good thing about testing.
Yeah,
Hold all
exactly.
the cards
Well,
to
the
your
heat's not going to slow you down that much. You're only talking like 100, maybe. Maybe max for 200s, depending on how much has changed. But next up, we're going into Q3 of Real Street. Matt Coates in the VF to take on Dale Samuelson in the Capri for Better Call Cal Maintenance.
Yeah, Matty Coates in the Dragon.
Yes, the Dragon. So Matt Coates, full stage. Dale is in stage as well. Reaction times. 007 red for Dale Samuelson. Green for Matt Coates. 153 in the VF for Bridgestone at Albany Creek.
Yeah, you can see the wagon just got the legs on the Stato. And the wagon goes for a 12.10, 114 for Matt Coates, and a 12.64, 113 there for Samuelson. And up next, we got Shane Grattan in the BF Falcon up against Ian Nielsen in the Currumbin Valley Plumbing VZ Commodore.
I've always liked that metallic blue on the BFs. As we see a reaction, it's a double red both sides of the tree here. Grattan goes 55 too early. Nielsen was 004 too early. And the Holden will go across the line first with a 1187, 117 mile an hour. Grattan goes 1379, 103. Love the Jeep. Love the Jeep on track for Paulie Gingell. Gingell there. He's got his window down though. Get that up. Can't leave that down, mate.
He's trying to get the smoke into the car.
Yeah.
So Tony Rogers.
It's funny though, then you get the Roadsters and all that. No, he doesn't. But
Yeah.
you get yours up.
Yeah, Tony Rogers up now, in beside him with the WPH Ultra Street Cars BF Ute. And a good reaction time there for Tony Rogers, an 020 light to a 352 from Paulie Gingell. Runs it through 1163, 129 there for Tony Rogers, and 1404, 99 mile an hour for Paulie Gingell. And more of these FG Falcons are coming through thick and fast. We got Paul Nielsen in the black FG on track.
Deep stage. Straight into deep there. Goes.
That's how he rolls.
Yeah.
011 light.
Good light. I wonder if he meant to do that, if that was a tactic for Paul, because it did look like he kept going.
Well, yeah, the solo pass, so you could try anything, I guess.
Well, I'm just wondering if it was a tactic for him trying to shorten the rollout. 1274, 122 mile an hour for Paul Nielsen. Big field now in prime science speed Elec Super Street. This will be the final qualifying session. On track first, it will be Wade Moran for SWC Automotive to take on Troy Hutton, the TH Tiling and Waterproofing Holden. The Ute of Hutton. Mustang for Moran.
Yeah, great looking SWC Automotive Mustang on track.
Good
Well,
guys. They've
both cars.
serviced my car over the years.
Have they?
My drive car, yeah.
Just waiting on who goes into full stage first. It's Wade Moran. .144 reaction for Wade Moran. 075 red for Troy Hutton. And Troy Hutton goes through a 1081, 123 in the black Holden Ute. And 1158, 117 there for Wade Moran in that bright blue Mustang. Darren Piddington in the Ford Capri up against Samantha Yulton in the BL Race Engines Commodore.
Yeah, Yulton. Moving forward, we can see Piddington will hit the stage beams first on pre-stage in the Ford. Hang on Sam now, she's just edging forward as well. This is Prime Science Speed Elec Super Street, round 3. Their final chance on track before we get into racing, where the pressure stakes are much higher. 095 for Pennington, 149 for Yulton. Everyone's getting into race mode now. Solid green lights.
1098, 122 mile an hour for Piddington, and 1172, 119 there for Yulton. So yeah, great cracking runs there for both drivers. Sean Taskus up next, the 477 Garage and Tuning Ford Capri. Big 363 on board. Picks the wheels up against Andrew King in that Ford Prefect. And Ford Prefect goes through 1072, 124 mile an hour, and Sean Taskus in the Capri 1109, 119 mile an hour.
Next up, we've got Jenny Ashen in the Commodore taking on the Ford of Nicole Goldie. I missed Q2 for Nicole. I know in the first session she had some issues.
Yeah, the Total Cover Earthworks XE Falcon on the start line. Jennifer Ashen, the nice gold Commodore VH.
Nicole's raced a few cars now over the years. She had a Dragster, raced in Super Sedan, Super Street.
Just trying to find the one she likes.
014 for Jenny Ashen, 180 for Goldie. Looks like it's going to be a clean pass both sides of the racetrack here. Ashen's the quicker of the two. It goes through for an 1138, 121 miles an hour. Goldie, 1174 at 116 mile an hour. So, you know, once we get into Q3, this is where you really want the cars dialed in, running as expected.
Yeah, the 350 had the legs.
Yep. You know, and as a driver, you want to be solidly in the low zeros on the reaction time side of things. Try and get some momentum going into round 1 of racing. Ray Ross moving forward in the Charger. Murray Flay already in full stage in the Commodore. Ross has been running in the low 10.0s today.
Picks the front wheel up and hits the centre line, Ray Ross. So Ray Ross ends up running a 10.05, 131 mile an hour. And Murray Flay an 11.69, 119.
Terry Gillespie now in the fair lane, taking on Craig Layton, the Statesman. Gillespie, pre-stage. Layton moving forward. Both drivers in pre-stage now. Q3. As a driver, you're probably looking for an 050 light or better here in Q3. You want to be running within 100th of what you ran in Q2. If you're happy with everything, that is.
And there you go, an 018 light for Terry Gillespie.
Yeah, Craig Layton goes 122.
Oh, a bit of heavy, breathing heavy Terry Gillespie at half track.
Yeah, it is breathing very heavy down there for Terry Gillespie. Sure they're going to have to check that out there in the speed flow lane for Terry Gillespie. And 11.83 for Craig Layton at 115 miles an hour. Gillespie goes through 12.01 at 111 mile an hour. So we're going to have to probably just check the racing surface here in that lane of Terry Gillespie.
Yeah, the speed flow lane. Here we've got a couple of our track walkers out, heading out towards the track.
So just doing a quick check on track. Hopefully whatever it was just getting burnt up in the pipes.
Yeah, you can see them just dragging their shawl on the ground just to see if it was any difference. Looks like it's all good to go.
There we go. Moving forward on track. Couple of forwards. It will be Liam Keogh and Travis Greaves. XE for Keogh, XD for Greaves.
Just a few extra cubes there for Travis Greaves, the 393 up against the 351. Greaves picks the front wheels up and ends up running a 10.77, 125 mile an hour. And William Keogh at 12.16, 110. John Massey in the Styromax Australia Hornet up against Josh Fletcher in the Styrofan Tirana. Good to see the cars side by side.
He's going to get bragging rights here. Two very good mates on track.
Josh.
I think it's going to be John. Ooh. John gets it. John gets the bragging rights. Ooh. 051 to an 063 from Josh. But Styromax's winner on the day with both drivers here.
That's it. Yeah, good support there for the team. But Josh Fletcher runs it through 10.82, 123, and 11.76 at 116 there for John Massey.
Rob Harrington now to take on Wayne Knipris. Knipris in the Camaro for Custom Build Kitchens. And Rob Harrington with sponsors from his mum and dad paying the bills for him.
Wayne Knipris, an 065 light to an 014 from Rob Harrington.
Yeah, I expected better from Rob, to be honest. 014, it's a bit shabby.
It's 000 or nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. 11.11 for Rob Harrington, 122 mile an hour, and 11.30 for Wayne Knipris at 117 mile an hour. I got high standards for Rob, and that's just not cutting it. 014 is not cutting it for him.
Bud Kelly on the start line in the HQ Premier up against Angela Holtz in the Mad Dog Motorsport Monaro. Just waiting on Angela Holtz to go into full stage. Red light for Holtz, 096 red to an 025 from Bud Kelly. Go the Kiwi. Bud Kelly runs it through an 11.05, 123 mile an hour, and Angela Holtz with an 11.09 at 124.
John Riley now in the one-tonner, taking on Gary Green, the wagon, for Lockyer Automotive. This is, of course, final qualifying session of Prime Science Speed Elec Super Street red light for John Riley, 103 for Gary Green.
go. 1-2 red for Riley. He'll run it through for an 11.90 at 110. And Gary Green in the wagon at 10.41, 133.
I really wanted to say green is green then.
Colin Marshall in the RCE Performance Charger up against Tanisha Marshall in the RCE Performance Holden.
So I wonder how if these guys are related in some ways, a husband and wife on track possibly. Don't know.
Oh, not much bragging rights there. 103 to Tanisha and 109 to Colin Marshall.
Yeah, 6th on the tree for Tanisha. She goes through from an 11.70 to an 11.28 from Colin.
It looks like a solo run for Dennis Ryan in the Holden U.
It's good to see Dennis back out here having some racing. You know, partner Tammy's been having all the fun on the bike lately.
Perfect tow vehicle.
Well, he's got the Toronto home as well that runs in Top Sportsman / Super
that's right,
Sedan
he does
as
too.
well. And he's got his own race bikes. Got the ute here for Super Street purposes. 11.77, 115 miles an hour for Dennis Ryan. He's pretty much raced everything now.
I guess once you get into drag racing, you just can't stop buying cars.
Pretty much. Pretty much, isn't it? That was Q3 of Prime Science Speed Elec Super Street. Next time out, it will be round 1 of racing for those guys and girls. Now we're moving into the final qualifying session of Junior Dragster, brought to us by SuperFloor. SuperFloor Junior Dragster. Q3.
Yeah, and first up we'll have Jacob Schultz in the B Junior up against Nixon Cannulli in the A Junior.
So how do you think what you do? In qualifying, like you want to try and replicate the nerves and the pressure you feel in round 1. So myself as a driver, I like to race against tough races in qualifying. Just try and get one up on them, because if you put pressure on yourself, you try and make it like it is a first round of racing by racing against those who you would consider tough races. I've always been a fan of that. Like, how can I put some stakes on myself in qualifying?
You wouldn't be targeting the C Junior and trying to get and going for
everyone is tough and everyone has got a chance, but you know, there's perceptions that there's better drivers, and as a driver myself, I'm like, who do I want to try and get one over in qualifying? You know, put some pressure on myself to cut a light in qualifying, because it's so hard to replicate the feeling you get in a round 1 of racing with the butterflies, the excitement, the pressure.
Because I think the hardest bit would be chasing a 4-second gap.
Yeah, that's right, in racing. But in qualifying, obviously, it's all heads up. So I'm just saying that if you can try and get one up on an opponent with a better reaction time, you know, and your car's consistent, that's something you can do to try and replicate those feelings that you get in racing. So Jacob Schultz here against Nixon Cannulli, championship leader Nixon Cannulli.
Great reaction times, 021 to an 020.
Yeah, great lights here in Q3 for SuperFloor Junior Dragster. Nixon Cannulli goes through for an 800, 81 miles an hour. Jacob Schultz goes 868, 73 mile an hour.
Jasmine Kidd up against Tyler Bellett.
That's the great thing about drag racing. It is a really equalising sport. It's fair for everyone. You know, it's all about
money.
It's not about money at all. It's just about consistency. You know, it doesn't matter how quick you are, how slow you are. It doesn't matter how you get to the racetrack, if it's in an open trailer or in a big semi-transport, a truck, whatever. It is fair game to anyone who straps on a helmet and gets into a race car. Jasmine Kidd, red lights here, 018. Tyler Bellett goes 037. Clean green for Bellett. And Bellett will go through for 799, 83 miles an hour, and 874 for Jasmine Kidd at 73 mile an hour.
Yeah, nice clean run there for Tyler Bellett.
Yeah, just really dialing in these juniors in Q3.
Cody Sedmak up against Tamika Castlake, both B juniors. so it's going to be a heads up.
It's only like an hour and a half in between this run and first round of racing, so you're going to see the dial-ins are going to be pretty much the same as what we've got here. Whatever they run here, it's going to be you're talking probably a hundredth on either side of whatever they run here for round one of racing on the dial-in side of things. If you're happy with everything, if the car does everything as is expected to here in Q3, Cody Sedmak for JTS Racing moving forward. Tamika Carslake's already in pre-stage. She's been waiting for a while. Cody, they're just getting that idle right. You know, that's one of the things that you want to keep control of. That's one of the variables you can control is the idle that the junior launches at. Obviously, any variable that you can control in between passes, that's what you want to do to keep it consistent.
.051 red for Tamika, 083 for Cody Sedmak. Tamika runs it through an 874 at 71 mile an hour and a 906 69 mile an hour there for Cody.
Next up in the A, Civil Junior Dragster, it will be Carl Schultz to take on Paige King for AEB Services. Paige King moving forward here from Rochedale South. SuperFloor Junior Dragster Q3. Paige moving forward now towards that stage there. You can see the crew bringing it forward. Carl Schultz are already there near the beams, the pre-stage beams. The Ginger Ninja of Carl Schultz.
Yeah, you can see the SCG racing parts supporting them as well.
Carl Schultz is currently the defending Junior Dragster champion. The QDRC champion right now. Hasn't started off the season, he's currently 5th in that defence of the championship, so he's already 11 points behind Nixon and Canuli and Vance Pirano. 040 light for Schultz, red light for Paige King, 052 red.
And great pass there, an 80 at 80 mile an hour there for Carl Schultz. And an 878 at 72 mile an hour for Paige King.
All right, just another call, this time for Super Sedan Modified Eliminator. And Top Sportsman to the lanes, please. Super Sedan Modified and Top Sportsman to the lanes, please. Next up in SuperFloor Junior Dragster, it'll be one of our rookies, Lexi Lancaster, to take on James Loday. So you've got someone starting their career in Lexi Lancaster. You've got James Loday, he's at the end of his Junior Dragster career.
Yeah, so that'll be the big decision, is trying to see what you're going to move up to after Junior Dragster.
Hey, it's always interesting to see where they head. It used to be consistently, it was probably Modified was always one of the most common brackets, but these days they're going everywhere. They go from bike classes to radial classes to other die your own brackets, Super Street, Super Sedan, Top Sportsman.
3 light there for James Loday, a 359 for Lexi Lancaster.
Yeah, Loday goes through for an 859, 76 miles an hour. Lexi goes through for an 866, 75 mile an hour.
Yeah, so some of the guys that you raced against when you were in Junior Dragster, where they would have ended up modified fuel.
Yeah, one did end up in top fuel. Forgot her name now. What was it? Yeah. I'm sure she's listening, Kelly Betts. Yes, we raced together many times.
Some have been, door slammer?
Yeah, Benny. Yeah, Benny went to Slammer. I raced with Tuck as well. He went pro stock.
And now all of them have almost got kids.
Yeah, got kids. Yeah, well, Benny's got kids and juniors. Yeah. Alex Kidd on track, 090 on the tree. Chase Carslake goes 055. Well, speaking of Carslake, he's cousins with Kelly. So he goes 828, 78 miles an hour. Alex Kidd goes 849, 75 miles an hour. Well, Alex has got he's got modified dragster in the shed at home or mum's modified dragster. Yep. Wonder if she'll let him have a driver when he retires.
Katie Robertson up next in the C Junior, up against Amelia Wright in the A Junior. So Amelia Wright's in the Rocket Lane in the Illicit Auto Electrical Junior Dragster. You see Cody Robertson in the C Junior on the screen. 032 red for Amelia Wright, 506 for Cody Robertson.
And Amelia will go through 800, 82 miles an hour. Man, we've seen a lot of 800s here in this session. Cody Robertson, a 12:21 at 52 mile an hour in the CJD.
Yeah, it's just making sure that reaction time is smart going into rounds of racing. You can see those junior dragsters are right on the money with their times.
Yeah, very consistent. Next up in SuperFloor Junior Dragster is going to be Dakota Bray for Smith Transport moving forward. And taking on Kyle Day.
Yeah, Kyle Day in the A Junior, the RLC engine reconditioning junior dragster. Both into pre-stage. This is the tricky bit, trying to bump that junior dragster in without engaging it too much.
Yeah, they usually move on themselves just with the way it's set up. 039 for Kyle Day, 052 red for Dakota Bray. But you want to stage just exactly the same way that you do every pass, because that's one of the, again, variables that you can control. Another 800. This one to the 0, though. 8000 for Dakota Bray. And Kyle Day goes 854, 74 mile an hour. So there's always a little bit of bragging rights for anyone that can run that 8000, because that's where their limit, ET limit, is in qualifying at the bigger events. So that's why you see a lot of those juniors running the 800s, because they're always trying to get that #1 spot. But at QDRC, it's not too much of a big deal because it's about reaction times in qualifying, but it's always nice when you can do that 8000.
Yeah, for sure. Vance Pirano in the Beck's Hair Lounge junior dragster up against Neela Paul in the JD Race Cars Junior.
So Vance is championship leader in SuperFloor Junior Dragster.
045 light for Vance Pirano. 060 red for Neela Paul.
So Vance has actually not lost a race yet in Junior Dragster this season. As we see, Neela Paul goes through for an 835 and Vance an 862 at 75 mile an hour. Yeah, two of our Junior Dragster drivers are undefeated so far this year. Nixon and Vance have both not lost a round of racing yet.
Oh, that's awesome. It's going to make a bit of fun for later on today. Who's going to be the first one to lose?
Yeah, but it shows how critical that third round racing is, that you are closest to Dylan, because if you're not close to Dylan, you can miss out on that final, which has happened to Nixon and Vance, where they went 3 from 3 but didn't make the final on that count back with that closest to Dylan round 3. So
up next, Max Rowling in the A Junior with the support from Rolling Repairs, and Max Mason, the Downs Classic Towing and Junior Dragster.
Max versus Max. 091 for Rowling, 146 for Mason. And Rowling's the quicker of the two. He goes 805 at 80 mile an hour. Max Mason goes 930 at 71 mile an hour. SuperFloor Junior Dragster. Big field. How many cars do we get in qualifying then, Chris? Let's have a look at that quickly. Go again. Go next page.
23.
23 in Junior Dragster so far qualified.
So Nixon King up against Jet Pirano up next.
Nixon King for Mick King Transport. The B Junior Dragster. Pirano, the A Junior Dragster.
Yeah, Pirano, Beck's Hair Lounge supporting him. You can see him going through his routine on the big screen.
Well, that's it. That's the other thing. One of the things you want to keep consistent between is your routine that you do before you go on stage. So if you do a launch and push back, you do exactly the same thing each and every single time. You go on stage with the same idle, you launch off the same idle each and every single pass. They're all things that you can control, which will help with consistency. And as a driver, you want to stage in the same spot each time. So you don't want to be doing big lunges and changing your rollout. So you want to try and stage shallow as possible. As we watch reaction times, red light this time for Pirano, 008 red, green for Nixon King, 361.
You can see Pirano going through for an 8005 at 81 mile an hour.
At about 8 now, 800s that we've seen this session.
Yeah, and a 918 at 68 mile an hour there for Nixon King in the B Junior. Can we get modified bike, Top Sportsman and QDRC SuperComp to the lanes, please?
Getting through it quick and fast. Isabella Hunter for Playfall. Another rookie.
Wild cam in that thing.
Yeah, 187 on the tree for Isabella Hunter.
887, 75 mile an hour for Isabella Hunter. So a nice clean pass there. It's great to see the staging lanes absolutely packed full of cars. So another call out for Modified Bike, Top Sportsman. I think I just saw a couple of you rolling onto the start line. And QDRC SuperComp.
Yes, Q3. The final chance for the teams to just get that. Everything's sorted. They're happy with everything. You know, if you're one of those teams that are happy in Q1 and Q2, Q3 is just the bonus here where you're just like consolidating everything. But, you know, if the car hasn't done what it's a car or a bike, hasn't done what it's expected to do in Q1, Q2, you know, you're on a bit of pressure stress going to Q3, hoping that it just does what you want it to do.
Try and find that mean average for your for racing.
Yep, pretty much, mate. That's it. You know, if you've had a spread of, say, when we talk spread, so your quickest pass to your slowest pass in qualifying, I'd be happy if it was about 200s in the sportsman classes. So if you've got a 200 spread between your quickest and slowest, they'd be on the money. 300's good, 400's is good, but, you know, if it's starting to get out to like a tenth of a second, well, then what's going on? Because you shouldn't be, if you've changed nothing, tenth of a second's a big spread.
Yep.
When you're talking sportsman racing.
Big burnout this time for Judy Pukas in the Coyote Racing Valiant. Up against Damien Morris in the Morris Painting Solutions Monaro. See a couple of test launches to go into the staging beams. Morris into pre-stage.
Yeah, Morris in the speed flow lane, closest lane to the grandstand side of the racetrack. Pukas on the far side, the mound side, the rocket side. 0.23 for Damien Morris, 104 for Pukas. Morris has just been consistent in the low zeros all morning.
Yeah, Morris runs it through 990 at 134 mile an hour, and Judy Pukas at 996 at 142.
Yeah, Morris is going to be tough to beat. That's been very, very consistent today. He's been good, sharp on the tree as well.
Yeah, even with the drop in top end mile an hour from the shoots out early, it was bang on that 990. Rudy White up next, up against Hamish Strawn in the Complete Property Commodore. We can see Hamish Strawn on the...
wonder if it's Strawn or I've always said Strachan for him.
Is it Strachan?
I don't know. That's I've always got... I don't know Hamish personally, so I'm not sure if it was Strachan or Strawn.
I don't know. I'll just keep saying what I'm saying.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm just just conversation for us.
Yeah.
Hey, I had to look at the NRL commentary last night. They had that new winger for the Roosters, and his last name was about 26 letters long. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Mark, no, we see. I felt sorry for the commentators last night on that one.
So solo pass here for Hamish.
Yeah, issues for Rudy White.
196 reaction.
One thing you don't want is issues in Q3 because you've only got an hour in between runs.
Yeah, runs it through for a 971 and 140. Big mile an hour there for the Commodore. But yeah, the last thing you want, issues Q3. Oh, who's taking a spill?
Drummers up here in the commentary box. We've got chairs going over. Anyways, next on track in Super Sedan, we got Wayne Height to take on Adam White in the VL Commodore.
Yeah, up against Height in the Toyota Celica. It's a great looking car.
Yeah, the Boss Hoses. Toyota of Wayne Height. It's like those old school cars that we used to get here at the drags, like in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, that's it.
Great reaction times, 0.16 to an 0.20. Height with the better of the two.
Yeah, Height goes through a 924, 146 mile an hour, and a 952, 140 mile an hour there for Adam White in that VL Commodore. Mick Newport and Mick Newport Contracting Tirana up against Rob Price, also in the white LH Tirana hatchback. These guys have been racing each other all day through qualifying. So both into pre-stage. Mick Newport out with an 021 light to an 017 from Rob Price in the white hatchback. And Rob Price goes through a 960 at 143 mile an hour, and Mick Newport 943, 141. So a great side-by-side pass there.
Yeah, great pass to Super Sedan. Looks like we've got another pairing. Andrew Everding in the Corolla for Jones Performance Jones Performance Engines. And Mitchell Bauer in the fair lane for Fernwood Landscape Supplies.
Yeah, so Bauer's swapped lanes, and so's Andrew Everding. So can we get modified to the lanes, modified bike, Top Sportsman, SuperComp and Comp Bike, please, to the lanes. Modified bike, Top Sportsman, SuperComp and Comp Bike. Andrew Everding into pre-stage in the bright red Corolla. Bauer in the Ford Fairlane. .040 light for Andrew Everding, 047 for Bauer. Looks like Bauer will get there first, a 931, 146, and Andrew Everding a 10.05, 135 in the little red Corolla.
Yeah, 8 cars qualified in Top Sportsman. That we're about to move into Top Sportsman, brought to us by Horsepower Solutions. And that was our final qualifier for Super Sedan finish, done and dusted.
Yeah, so earlier this morning we saw Steve Horvath with that 001.
Yeah, you got that number one. Actually, no, that was that in Q2? You can't look at that qualifying after Q1. You can't look at that.
I thought it was Q1 straight off the truck. But regardless, we got Kayleen Gawley on track up against Dale O'Dwyer. Dale O'Dwyer in that Precise Automatics bright red Pontiac Firebird. You can hear the supercharger on Kayleen Gawley's LC Tirana. Dale O'Dwyer just going into the beams now in that red Pontiac Firebird.
Top Sportsman brought to us by Horsepower Solutions Q3. It's the quickest of our sedan dye your own brackets. 004 shut the door there on Dale O'Dwyer. Great reaction time. Gooley goes 126.
Yeah, Dale O'Dwyer 788, 174 mile an hour. And an 831, 163 there for Kayleen Gawley in that LC Tirana. Great reaction time there for Dale O'Dwyer. Dave Goldie in the Master Art Designs Osmobile Cutlass up against Steve Horvat in the HQ Monaro.
Yeah, Horvat, he went a great 001 in Q2. And I think he won, the last event here at... the last QDRC round too, from memory. But Wade didn't print off the results for our top sportsman. Nice, Wade.
Cheat notes.
Oh, he did, yeah, there we go. Top sportsman, he wrote down the bottom. Steve Horvat beat Paul DeBlane. Oh, 002 from Horvat after a 001 in Q2. Goldie goes 018. Horvat is on a mission at the moment, 750. Goldie goes a little bit slower again at 185 miles an hour, and Horvat goes 853 at 160 mile an hour. So Goldie, I think, went a little bit slower in each session today in that Cutlass.
Patrick Barron in the Aussie Diffs Chevy Beretta up against Noel Green, the Lockyer Automotive Holden Tirana.
So Noel Green's a former track champion here at Willowbank Raceway. He's a heavy hitter. Actually won a couple championships from memory as well in Super Sedan. Patrick Barron, though, he's won some races. He's won a championship or two.
That's it. I was about to say he's won a couple and definitely got lots of experience both sides of the track here. So who knows what they're trying to or what they're testing in this qualifying?
I don't think they'll be testing anything, mate. It'll be exactly what they had on the car in Q1 and Q2. 022 for Green, 056 for Barron. And an 867 for Barron at 157 miles an hour. 874 for Noel Green at 154 miles an hour. Now we need SuperComp, Comp Bike, Modified Bike, and testing to the lanes, please. Modified Bike, SuperComp, Comp Bike, and testing to the lanes, please. Denny Lake on track, and he'll be up against Paul DeBlane.
Yeah, Danny Lake, the Lang's Building Supplies Olds Cutlass up against Paul Doblin in the Lockyer Engine BF Cobra. Nice paint job on the Olds Cutlass.
Yeah, when you see the artwork up close as well, there's some detail on that.
On the Joker's face, on the, is this the Joker's face?
I'm not too sure. It's got the... yeah, I don't think it's the Joker, but yeah. The rear wing, though, has got this really nice detail there on the back with the flag and Defence Forces, maybe, from memory.
Yeah, I'll have to go and have a look at it later on down the pits. Yeah, both into pre-stage. 023 to a 008, Paul Doblin.
Now you can see the drivers really starting to adjust their reaction times. They're really dialing the cars in. 791 for Denny Lake. He went 790 in the last session from memory as well. So 860 for Paul DeBlane and the BF Cobra beside him. Great lights both sides of the track. It is a really quality field in Top Sportsman with the 8 cars, and you got championship caliber drivers. I think probably like 6 of them have won championships or something ridiculous like that. As we move now into Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator. On track first up is going to be the front engine dragster, Neil Shire and Dave Porter in the rear engine dragster.
Yeah, you can see the Coulter Brothers front engine dragsters bouncing a bit just after the burnout routine.
Yeah, a bit of flex there in the old front engine dragster. We see Dave Porter backing up here, Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator Q3. And just like their counterparts that we've seen so far here in Q3, it is just all about consolidation now. It's only been about an hour in between runs. The cars should be very consistent. Similar amount of time between this and round 1 of racing. So this is the pass that you're going to base your dial in on. It's not much is going to change from now until then, except you might have some lunch, put on a little bit of weight between this pass and round 1.
A few box chips. Yeah, pre-stage here for Neil Shire. Dave Porter. 006 for Porter, it's 104 for Neil Shire. And Porter will run through for a 757, 179 mile an hour, 876 and 152 for Neil Shire.
Yeah, great pass there for both drivers. Next up, Darryl Williamson in the Altered. Backing up there pretty fast in the old Altered. Brett Farnell in the front engine dragster, Team Bray Racing. Actually, look at that Farnell's at Redbank Plains. We just had, I think Neil Shire was at Redbank Plains too. I got a couple of front engine guys over at Redbank Plains there.
Yeah, it's good to have nice local competitors.
I wonder if they're close neighbours, Brady and Neil. So Williamson in the altered has been dipped into the 7-second zone now in this altered. Farnell and the front engine dragster running in the 820s today.
Yeah, Darryl Williamson, both drivers not messing around.
Oh, big red there for Williamson, 320. Farnell in 060. I think Darryl's just had what we call the phantom trigger, and he's let go before he saw the top bulb. He goes through for a 785, 170 miles an hour, and an 824 for Farnell. Sometimes you're just really edgy. You want to cut a really good light, but then you let go before you see the amber. It happens. It happens to us all. I've done it many times.
It's almost like he was anticipating a pro train.
I see, because you're reacting on that top bulb, so you're waiting for it to flash, and you want to react to it as quick as possible each and every time. And because you're pumped up, and sometimes you just let go before you see it. The old phantom trigger.
Phil Ballard up next, up against Jason Vanderlind in the altered.
If he's not using a delay box, well then you left way too early off the bulb then, if that's the case. So Phil Ballard, yes, for TBRE performance, and Jason Vanderlind. Vanderlind had a great reaction time in Q2.
Can I get a final call for test? QDRC Comp Bike and QDRC SuperComp. Final call, test, Comp Bike and SuperComp.
Vanderlind in pre-stage now. Ballard's in pre-stage as well.
To a 004.
That's what I mean, mate. It's getting tight now in Q3.
These guys heads up. 775, 169 mile an hour for Phil Ballard. 779, 174 for Vanderlind. You look at the incrementals across the finish line. 0.03 of a second between the two.
Yeah, great.
Andrew Pinkstone in Pinky's Toy up against Abby McDonald, the Mick Newport Contracting front engine dragster. So plenty of action here for Knijff Earthmoving Modified.
So I'll just make a quick call for anyone who's watching our live stream at the moment. They're on YouTube and wherever else it's been. We're going to restart the stream at the end of Q3 as well. So the stream will get restarted at the end of Q3. And then we'll start a new stream for racing. So just a heads up for everyone who's watching at home on YouTube or wherever they're watching from, that we will restart the stream at the end of Q3 and start it again for racing. Andrew Pinkstone on track, Abby McDonald.
018 Mike, Abby McDonald, 047 for Pinkstone. And Pinkstone will get there a 761, 175 mile an hour out of the dragster, and a 769, 172 there for Abby McDonald.
Next up, the Roadster of Chris Reed. And he'll be taking on Lucas Holtz. Now, Holtz, championship leader, has won 2 from 2 on Modified this season so far. The defending Modified champion had issues in Q2. The car did not want to launch. Let's see if they've got it fixed here. Lucas Holtz in the altered. The Roadster of Chris Reed moving forward. He's been running the 830s today, that Roadster of Chris Reed.
Yeah, super consistent.
But I think the eyes are going to be on Lucas Holtz here in this pass. Just the championship leader, defending champion, issues in Q2. Have they got it sorted? There's nothing worse than not having a car running to what it's expected to do in Q3, moving into round 1 of racing.
Good reaction there for Holtz, 002, 133 for Reed.
So he's all right on the reaction time side of things. Let's see if it goes around that 920 zone he's been running today so far, and he goes 923. No issues for Lucas Holtz going into racing. 834 for Chris Reed. Great pass for Chris Reed as well. Very consistent in the 830s today. So just like that, Lucas Holtz is back on what we expect. 00, 920s. Have fun, whoever's got him in round 1.
Especially with that 002 reaction time from Lucas Holtz.
Yeah, Stefan Gauss now for Simpson Race Products on track to take on Kerry Muller in the Roadster, another Roadster. Kerry Muller backing up there, ran a great 840, or was it 830 in that Q2? And Gauss, he ran a little bit off in that second session, went 735 after running a 729 in Q1. I think for Gaz, you'd be happy with another low 730, like splitting between the 29 and the 35 that he ran.
Yeah,
If it went like a 33 or 32 here, you'd be happy going into round 1. Or if it runs still between the 32 and the 35, you know, just somewhere in there. I don't think you'll run that 29 now in this heat of the day.
Muller full stage. 079 from Gals.
Double O's everywhere here in Q3 for Modified Eliminator. Gals goes through for a still goes to Lipsler. He did have a little bit of shake though on the hit. I did notice that 738, 182 mile an hour. And Muller goes 863, 136. Well, Gals 60 foot was okay though, 107. It definitely wasn't a clean hit on the initial hit there. And Muller 863, 136 mile an hour with an 079 red. And that brings a close to Knijff Earthmoving Modified Eliminator. They'll be in round 1 of racing. Next up, we should have, I think it'll be Modified Bike on track.
As we can hear the first round of bikes going through their burnout routine. Alex Redmond on the Suzuki 1000 up against Jason Clarkin, the Football Motorcycles Suzuki Hayabusa. So Redmond, the B-Mod bike, slightly extended swing arm. The A-Mod bike of Clarkin with the standard wheel bar.
Yeah, 014 red there for Clarkin, the Hayabusa for Full Bore Motorcycles. Goes across the finish line at 973, 150 miles an hour. Redmond on the Suzuki goes 1030 at 140 miles an hour. Sponsors mum and dad. It's always good. That's a good thing about drag racing. It does bring everyone together, you know, your family, help you out on track. And it's a crew, tow duties. Hopefully not working on cars and that in between qualifying sessions, just, you know, making a nice sandwich and that. That's the ideal situation, you know, putting some fuel in the tank and go back out and racing.
That's it. Rebecca Marsden up next on the Honda, up against Alan Annis Jr., the creative new cabinet Suzuki.
Yeah, Alan Ennis is doing all right in the championship from memory in a mod bike.
Yeah, right up the pointy end.
Yeah, he's currently second in the... You know what? Alan Ennis has started the season really, really strong. He's second in the championship, 34 points. But because of Brian Alvizio absolutely dominating, winning 2 from 2, Alvizio's got a huge lead on everyone already. So this, at the halfway point of the season, this is where you need to stop Alvizio. Otherwise, he could get a lead that's insurmountable towards the end of the season. Ennis, 127 on the tree. Rebecca Marsden goes 031 red. And it's one of the quickest bikes here today. A modified bike goes 872, 151 miles an hour. Marsden goes 1011, 139 miles an hour. She did go into the 960s earlier today in qualifying.
And the only way you're going to get back at Alvizio is eliminate him early.
Well, that's it, because he's already got a 16-point lead, and that's huge in the grand scheme of things for the QDRCs with the way the point system's set up. That's... You know, you get 5 points for a win and 2 points for a loss. So that's, you know, you can only gain 3 points on him each round of racing that you take off of him.
Yeah. It's Jason White on the Hayabusa 070 red, 407 for Bobby Schluter on the little Kawasaki.
Yeah, Bobby Schluter stepped up from the junior drag bike program now into the bigger bikes. As we see Bobby go through from 1124, 128 miles an hour. White at 1094, 128 miles an hour. Jason White actually ran junior drags back in the day as well. I went to school with Jason, so we raced juniors together.
Yeah, it's crazy how they've all dispersed into various categories in drag racing. Tammy Goldthorpe on track in the B-Mod bike, Suzuki 1000 up against Brian Alvizio. And you just watch the 60 foot on Brian Alvizio's Kawasaki.
Oh, great lights, great reaction times. 38 for Alvizio, 49 for Goldthorpe. And Alvizio gets there first, 888, 148 miles an hour. Goldthorpe goes 891, 157 mile an hour.
But yeah, just that 2 tenths to the 330 is just crazy.
Oh, you're right, actually. He does get out strong compared to Tammy's there. Tammy's got the big top end charge, 157 mile an hour.
Yeah, it's just that first
Yeah.
third of the track, and it's just done.
So that brings a close to Q3 for Modified Bike, and we should be moving now into the final session of SuperComp.
Yeah,
Potentially, or have we got another bike down there? We just can't see from our peripherals up here in the commentary box until they actually get in front of us.
Those SuperComp guys and
The SuperComp
testing
cars are
vehicles
moving out.
are getting out there. We see another hit of that combi.
The drag bus. The drag bus. Well, so far it's been a great morning going into the afternoon here at the Queensland Drag Racing Championships, brought to us by Donnelly Blasting Services. Actually, did you see that great clip of Jake Donnelly during the week in the country singer Josh? I can't think of the guy's name now, but it was filmed out here with Jake Donnelly on the track, and it's a great song with the Donnelly Blasting Services team. So that was really cool to see the drag strip being used for Josh Setterfield, Burning Gas. Check it out.
Yeah.
Country song they used. It was filmed here at Willowbank Raceway. The Donnelly Blasting Service team are in the film clip, so it's really cool. Yeah, Josh Setterfield. Check it out. Burning Gas if you're a drag racing fan.
Ian Pimble on track, by the rules conveyancing Ford Falcon. 500 cubes under the bonnet of this Ford Falcon.
Oh, double O2 from Ian Pimble.
Yeah, great reaction time in the speed flow lane. Runs it through for a 993, 136 mile an hour out of the big Falcon. So, not bad run for SuperComp.
Yeah, the SuperComp cars, they do have a little bit of work in between. Some of them will have a bit of maintenance to do in between runs. So if they're happy with Q1 and Q2, you might see some of the teams not come out for Q3 just to give them that little bit of breathing room between Q3 and round 1 of racing. So that wouldn't surprise me. So the majority of the cars here this weekend at and that's a good thing about the QDRCs with the sportsman classes, is that you've got a modified race car. It's running 7 seconds over the qual mile. If everything's right, the only thing you need to worry about is air in the rear slicks, fuel in the tank, and the parachute's packed. Like, that's all you need to worry about. If you've got your program set up and you're not touching anything else, those are the three things you need to worry about in between passes and downloading data. Yep. That's it. Like, it's great for the crew for these sort of race cars. Once you step up into SuperComp, Supercharged Outlaws, then you've got a bit of maintenance to worry about in between passes, whether it's clutches or whatever you're doing, or you're looking for things to change in suspension and setups and that. Those cars, which are performance cars looking to go as quick as possible, they do make changes and fix things, change things, whatever. But for 90% of the cars here today, it's a cruisy day for the crew. If everything, touch wood, is going smoothly for everyone. All your maintenance is done at home in the shed.
Yeah, so if you do have a problem, it's usually a big one, and it's just on the trailer. But,
Nicolia on track, a great 763 in Q2. And again, it looks like it's stalled at the end of the burnout. It's just one of those things. It happens.
Yeah, a lot of fuel getting dumped down the throat of those.
So you'll hear a lot of the open vehicles like that will try and clear it out at the end. You'll hear those woof, woof, as they try and clear it out at the end of the burnout to try and minimise that happening. Yeah, it doesn't want to start, does it, at the moment for Nicolia? We can hear it winding over from up here.
Yeah.
There we go. And the other issue when you start doing this is the battery in them as well.
But you could recharge the battery between runs.
Yeah, well, a lot of people you do have the battery on charge. That's another thing you do. You throw the battery on charge in between passes, and depending on your setup. And there we go. Nicolia, he's got the advanced sheet metal dragster is fired back up.
Throat clearing exercises with the pedal.
Yes, I wonder what this combo is actually for. It's got 358 cubes on the screen for us here. running in B Dragster automatic off the QDRC record. So it's an index of 7.70 seconds. So he's, what's that, 51 under so far today? What's it? 61 under so far today for Nick Galea. So 600ths of a second under the index based off the QDRC record. So the index is the QDRC record plus 5/10. So the QDRC record for B Dragster automatic is a 720. So the index is 7.70 seconds. Double 01. He went trip zip from memory in the last pass as well.
Yeah, he's bang on the money.
Yeah.
Runs it through 764, 175 mile an hour. So, yeah, nice clean run there out of the drags for Nick Galea.
Great pass, yeah. So that 3,000ths of a second slower than his Q2. 175 mile an hour, 109 to the 60 foot. 001 on the tree. Great run. Won't improve on his early qualifier. That was only 58,000ths under the index there, the QDRC index for Nick Galea and the Dragster. And now we're moving now into Q3 for Comp Bike.
Yeah, QDRC Comp Bike. And up first we'll have Aveen Altar on the BMW up against Ken Collin, Rascal Race Engines Suzuki Hayabusa. Looks like Ken Collin will have a solo run. Oh, he's in.
Arvine, #1 qualifier by a bunch. Ken Collin is currently #3 qualifier. So Arvine was half a second under. Ken Collin, #3 qualifier, was 400ths of a second under. Arvine trying to keep the front wheel down on that BMW bike.
Yeah, Ken Collin trying to stay on his side of the track. Runs it through for an 815, 164 mile an hour, and a 938, 145 there for Aveen Altar on the BMW.
Both riders having some fun there.
Oh yeah, taking the long way down the. Ooh, plenty of revs from Johnny Lewis on his Kawasaki.
Yeah, the B-altered bike, Johnny Lewis. Chris Collin also B-altered bike.
Chris Collin, B-altered bike, Rascal Race Engines supporting him on that Hayabusa.
I wonder if Johnny's just seen something that he's not happy with on track. Just wonder, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, he's moved the bike over a little bit.
Both into pre-stage. 058 light to a 127 for Chris Collin. Chris Collin runs it through a 795, 167 mile an hour, and an 829, 157 there for Johnny Lewis.
Yeah, that's what I could see as well. I could see Blazer seeing what I saw there too, so there we go. They are onto it. So, Johnny Lewis. Yeah, that's his quickest pass of the day so far. Collin 795. Collin was consistent. He ran 795 with a 1 twice and a 793.
Yeah, nice consistent package there. Pete Farnell up next on the AACB Blazecraft Suzuki Hayabusa. Up against Carl Pacey on the Marshall Mountain Motors Suzuki.
So I spoke to the Farnell team, and Pete's bike hasn't been shifting, so that's the issue. It's not shifting at the moment, so it's been a bit of a mad thrash trying to get it sorted. Carl Pacey in the Suzuki beside him. It's a #4 qualifier, but Pete Farnell, if it shifts, mate, watch this bike, guy. It is fast.
We need Real Street, Super Street, Junior Dragster to the lanes. Real Street, Super Street, and Junior Dragster to the lanes. And yeah, both riders into full pre-stage. Carl Pacey, 038 light to a 072 from Pete Farnell, and he's got gears.
He's got gears this time. Pete Farnell, watch out this bike. 725, 198 miles an hour for Pete Farnell. 198.88 miles an hour. Pete Farnell incredible. I think that is a PB for the bike as well.
So close to that 200.
Wow, in the heat of the day, Pete Farnell goes 198.88 miles an hour on that bike, and I think that'll put him into number 2 in qualifying, Chris. We've missed the qualifying sheet, but yeah, great. What a ride from Pete Farnell.
That's very impressive.
1.12 mile an hour off that 200 mile an hour mark.
So now we got the drag bus.
And you know what, it still look pretty soft for Pete. Like he did it.
That was
It
looked easy.
I know from our perspective, it looks easy, but I'm sure it isn't at all. All right, the drag bus of Jamie Haig.
Yeah, still doing his licensing runs by the looks.
Yeah, it went 12 seconds on that last run, which was pretty cool. Did it easy.
Yeah, LS1 turbo powering the drag bus.
There you go, 11.52 this time around, 118 miles an hour. 6 years in the making for Jamie Haig.
Some supercharged action coming up with the red altered. All crossed up in the burnout.
Yeah, it's just a bit of testing to finish off our qualifying. Then we're getting into racing with Real Street, Super Street and Junior Drag. So you guys should be heading towards the lanes, please. So Real Street, Super Street, Junior Drag. So you guys should be heading towards the lanes, please. And it will be, from this point forward, racing for everyone here at the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships.
Great reaction time, 001.
Nice. Very nice. 685, 195 miles an hour from the Ultras. That's his quickest pass of the day. Tell you what, they must be doing a bit of work there in the pits to get back around for each testing session. Not much time between for the supercharged cars.
Yeah, the crews are definitely working their, earning their money's worth. You can see one of the Ford Capris coming down the staging lanes. So Real Street, Super Street and Junior Drags to the lanes.
What we might do now is bring it to a close in qualifying. We'll jump off the microphone. We'll let them... Oh, we've got another test car, have we? Or we might have another test car first. So we've got another test car before we do that. We'll do the testing and then we'll finish off this and we'll let the stream restart and then we'll be back on in about 10 minutes for racing, I guess, once this pass is completed. See, that's the thing. When you can't see the back of the lanes, I thought that was the last run. No, we got another slammer to go. We got a slammer here. Russell Pavey, the Corvette. So Russell did a pass earlier this morning, just out here, obviously testing the Corvette. Went 100 to the 60 foot. He did encounter some tyre shake at around probably, I don't know, 15, 20 metres into the pass. It encountered the tyre shake, which just hit button off. It's just testing. You don't need to try and drive through that sort of stuff. But 100 to the 60 with a bit of shake, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy how these things dial in their power to the track.
So Russell Pavey in the slammer. We'll get to see Russell campaign this in the National Drag Racing Championship. We've got 2 rounds of the NDRC here at Willowbank Raceway in the new season. You've got the New Year Nitro and, of course, the big one, the Winter Nationals in June. Well, he got a bit further out before he started getting the shake. Went 100 to the 60 foot again. They were close. They were very close to getting it right that time. It was a lot further out. It looked before it started to get the dreaded shake. It looked like he was going to drive through it for a second, but he obviously chose the option to button it off. But you can see it was shaking for a while, actually. You can see it from our vantage point up here.
1008 to the 60, and
Yeah.
it was just shake.
You can see it start shaking around that really hard from that 60-foot spot there, probably through to about 100 feet out, 120 feet out there. Anyways, well, that brings a close to qualifying here at the Donnelly Blasting Services Junior Queensland Drag Racing Championships. What we'll do is we'll close this stream off.